Hey, y'all. We are getting set up for the Harvey board meeting today. I need to know if everyone can hear me. I need to know if you guys can hear me. I'm gonna wait till. Hey, y'all. Oh, you can hear me? Okay, great. I have my new microphone. I am live from the board meeting in Harvey. Let me hold up the agenda. Meeting to order. This is a regular scheduled board meeting, you guys. It's not a special board meeting like last week, but they will vote on an interim mayor likely. This is the agenda. Hello, thank you guys. Hi, Catherine. Who else do I see? Hold on, I'm sorry, I was looking at the agenda. Oh, wipe the camera, sure. Hold on. I hope that works. Is that any better? Hi, Detective Rachel. Is that any better at all? Because I have something I can wipe it with. I have my sunglass cleaner wiper, so let me see if I can wipe it with that. Um, it's better. Okay. Still try to wipe it with my little sunglass cleaner. So hold on. Or eyeglass, not even sunglass. Is that better? I hope that's better. So glad everyone can hear. So I'm gonna hold up the agenda again in a minute. I am just going around here. Okay. That's I forgot her name. Amanda. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay. These meetings are interesting. They look like they're gonna start on time. It starts at 7. This is a later one than last week. Let's see who's here so far. Tulani Polk is here. Y'all, should I zoom in a little? Or is this okay for now? It doesn't look like it's going to be as crowded as the last meeting. Let me hold up the agenda again. Call meeting to order. So, looks like, hey, YJ, the resolutions. We have a few resolutions to vote on. Looks like a couple of ordinances. One, two, three, four. Oh, no, one, two. One, two, actually, and these are the explanations, it looks like. And then, so two ordinances. Um, this is the Ryan settlement number one. I heard it was for 5,500, but I'm not sure. But they should go over it. It's a resolution. There's Beth. Like, I don't even know. I guess she's sitting in the back because she came way around here to go way over there, and she could have just came that way. That was kind of weird. But yeah, she's kind of quiet. Okay, she just made a full circle. Be not so showing up. Beth talking to Keith. So the meeting technically starts in 9 minutes. So people are filing in. So you guys, hope you're scanning the room. So hi, let me see. You're welcome, Detective Rachel. Um, Hi, Rim Maxie. Hi, YJ. Yes, Jesse. Okay, so you guys can hear me okay? I have a microphone up by the podium as well. So just crying. So I am going to try to get him to attempt to answer with regard to his lawsuit, especially based on the vote and how it goes. I would like to see how, if he has anything to say, whether it goes in his favor or not. Okay, he's going to make his announcement. Can you guys hear him okay? You can't. Anything? Okay. I shall be. You guys can't hear me. You guys hear? Put a one if you can hear, please. You can't put a two. Muffle? Okay. What about now? Can you hear? Can you hear now? I don't know. Okay. I don't know what I'd do different. Hold on. Oh no, hold on. I think I have. Hold on. about now? I just changed something. Can you guys hear anything? What about now? Okay. What about now? Okay. All right. Now I know what I gotta do. Thank you for that. Good thing I got it done before the meeting. So you can hear me, okay? Good. So hopefully you can hear up at the podium when I get to talking. So I'm gonna put this, let me see some, y'all. I need one more mic check. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Does it sound muffled? I just changed one thing. I want to see something. It sounds muffled, or you can hear me. Put a 1 if you can hear me, 2 if it sounds muffled. Oh, sounds good? Okay. Good. I have both mics working, so okay. 1, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Kim. Here's Wayman. He just came in. He's on the Park District Board in Harvey. Okay. Yeah, this is crazy. What about I just found out that the tripod I was using actually extends up higher. I didn't even know it because it was always compact. Hey, I'm doing well. How about you? Did you hear me speak to you that day? Yeah. I said, hey, Wayman. Oh gosh. Oh no. No. She didn't think it was. I mean, you were on your where your sign is. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. How's everything? That's good. That's good. Good, good. I like your Black History. That's what you were tending to, right? Your Black History sign? That's what I saw you doing. Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, you should have waited to this time. It's nicer now. Oh, for the beginning of the month. Yeah, that makes sense. Uh-huh.
And the temperature just kept randomly dropping. I've never felt that in my life where it was just constant. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. And then, I took off your for a second.
Anyway, that's what they said. That's pneumonia weather. That's what my mom used to say. Pneumonia weather. Yep. So, um, it's a regular board meeting. I didn't sign up for public comment because I just, want to see how the trajectory of the meeting goes. It's a new era. So, there's Alderman Key. So, it's supposed to start in, 1 minute? Literally, I guess they're waiting on, it looks like, Mayor Drewinski, interim mayor, pro tem Mayor Drewinski. She's the only one because Alderman Rogers is here, Talani Pope, Clerk. Oh, and then, I don't know if I saw Randall L. I thought I did. And I guess that's also the deputy clerk. They have her in the role right now. All right, you guys, we're just waiting for everything to get started. It's a nice attendance. So yeah, I saw Don Core, as far as people that are running. This guy here, he's running for 2nd District. against Willie Preston, um, Jesse Jackson Jr., Yamika Brown, you know that race, this guy right here in the hat. He ran for Thornton Township Supervisor as well this past election. And I'm assuming he's an independent, but I never, like, he wasn't at that debate. So I really never got to know his platform. I only met him like maybe a couple of times when he was running. So if Drewinski, yeah, because that happened last time. I was going to say if the mayor pro tem shows up, they can go ahead and get started. They'll have a quorum because Randall L came a little late last time. But thank you guys. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for liking. Thank you for watching. Um, yeah, so let me show the agenda again for anyone that might have just joined. Roll call, Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, so wait a minute. Oh, maybe they'll skip executive session. Approval of minutes from last meeting or last few meetings, it looks like. Approval of ordinances, old business, new business. The settlement is the first item on the agenda. Then there's a resolution. I guess they fill in the numbers later. I don't know why they're not on here, but resolution number 2, or the third item is resolution number blank. Or excuse me, second item, and then the third item, resolution number blank as well. Thank you, Shelley. Authorities, the use of motor fuel tax funds for the purpose of maintaining streets and highway. Okay, I was looking at number 3. So motor fuel tax funds to maintain the streets and highway, which of course makes sense, because how else would they fuel the vehicles? And that's but I guess they have to do it because the period is 1/1/26 to 12/31, so that's a whole year. Go flip the page. So this is a resolution accepting the ordinance of certain property located within the city of Harvey, commonly known as 106 through 108 West 154th Street, and approving settlement in case number. Okay. Oh, so I guess there's a lawsuit, and they're voting on approving that today. Oh, there's the mayor. So, there's Alderman Randall L. So it looks like we'll be getting started soon. I'm going to raise the camera a little.
Just out of curiosity, do we have, before we start this meeting, any reverends in the house? Are you a reverend? Okay, either one of you would like to step up?
She wants you to say the prayer.
Okay, when we start this meeting, if you're willing to lead us in prayer once we open up the meeting, and I thank you for volunteering. Appreciate everyone coming out tonight.
So can you guys hear her? Okay. Put a 1 if you can hear her. Okay, as well.
And make the motion that we call this meeting to order. Oh, I'll call this meeting to order, I'm sorry. Roll call, Deputy Clerk.
Harvey go down in flames. We're praying, Lord, that you would bless this meeting and bless what we would do in your name. I pray for the city of Harvey. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Reverend Melville King.
Thank you. Stand.
Of the United States of America.
There is no need to go into executive session. So we need a motion to approve the minutes. There's a motion on the floor. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you sure that there's no session for item D1?
Thank you for asking. Yes.
I have the same questions if we need to discuss this in executive session. It's getting taken to the side.
Yes, no.
Different attorney.
The reason why it was already factual, it was already findings. So just to be transparent, that's why we didn't think the need to go into executive session. But those are good questions, thank you very much. Okay, as I said, we would like to approve the minutes, October 27, 2025. Please, my voice. Is there any debate? Hearing none? Please vote. Thank you. Need a vote, a motion to approve the minutes in January 12th, 2026, meeting of the whole.
Motion by the third and a second by the sixth.
Any debate? Hearing none, we'll proceed forward. Motion.
Motion passes.
We need a motion for January 12th, 2026. Meeting notes. Is there a second?
Motion by the third and a second by the fifth.
We need a vote. Motion for the meeting on February 2nd, 2026, a special meeting. We need a motion and we need a second.
A motion by the third and a second by the sixth.
Any debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Currently on the agenda, we would have the financial bills list. The reason why it is not on the agenda, because there was not an opportunity to have a finance meeting. So with that being said, That is why I removed that from it, and it will be Chairperson, Rogers, when would you have a finance committee?
Prior to the next meeting.
Okay, so it will be on the bills list then, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, will it be on the agenda for February 23rd, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you, sir. Okay, moving to new business, we need a motion, for resolution, no, it's just a motion, to approve and release the settlement agreement, case number 2025 CH 0500. This motion authorizing agreement to release the settlement to Brian Sawinski and the city of Harvey. We need a motion and a second. But in the meantime, is there any debate?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. We need a motion and we need a second, and then I'll open the floor for debate.
No one's motioning it.
Motion.
No one's motioning it.
Motion by the fifth and a second by the second.
Thank you. Is there any debate?
Yes.
Motioned. Kobe second.
Alderperson Chapman.
I'd like to know for the record, what requested records have been produced and what explanation did we provide to Mr. Sawinski regarding the request of the FOIA request? That was not detailed in the packet. It was just shared that we had a settlement based on the financial distress of the city. We don't have frivolous spending that can happen.
Let's keep in the scope of your question.
And in that specific regarding frivolous spending, we don't have an additional anything that we can provide. So my question is, why did not we provide these details? What was to corporate counsel, maybe this would be better for you to answer. But why didn't we provide the details requested by the resident?
I would appreciate the opportunity.
Yes.
And if you're seeking more detail at that point, then we can turn it over to, the attorney.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, with that being said, with this particular lawsuit, there was several, inquiries. Mr. Sawinski did indeed put in a FOIA request. Within the FOIA request, we have 5 working days to submit the response. At that point, he wanted a scope, a larger scope. So a question was relayed to him if he could narrow his scope for the FOIA. And that's when human error entered into the situation. His original response was answered within the 5 days. His response to the clerk's office was received at the clerk's office, but it was an oversight. So, but it was responded late. So he did get a response, and he did receive it, but it was after the 5 days. So the fact finding was originally his second response, his second correspondence, what was instructed in the computer in the email, and that was an oversight. The clerk's office did not see that. It was a human error, but it was answered. But he did receive the information late. Now, within that scope, I will ask the attorney to read the findings that.
Well, there aren't really any findings, so we have a release and settlement agreement, this is a standard form. Now, the city council has previously authorized the settlement of lower amounts of cases, but the policy is that we have a final document to bring before you. So this is settled for $5,500 to cover the attorney's fees of Mr. Simulson for bringing this lawsuit. The city's not admitting that. That's what it's about.
And that is it, the city is not, admitting liability. We did admit, we responded, we had a follow-up question, and we were late with that response. The lawsuit continued, and it was determined.
So he didn't even have to continue it. He chose to.
There is
Because it
no
was outside of the
settlement
5 days.
awarded to him except for legal fees.
Okay, he's only getting
Thank
legal
you.
fees.
May I ask a question?
Another question, two questions within, into the Robert rules, I'm sorry, yes ma'am.
What guardrails do we have in place to ensure that oversight is not costing us $5,500? That same incident could very well happen to another resident. If we times that by 19,000 residents, we'd be well over $500,000 of some sort. So we can't have oversight. I
That's why his
understand
mom is here.
we're in a very critical place as it relates to finances. So having oversight is kind of irrefutable because we're again, and I still don't have a real understanding of what the request was or the information asked about to even determine how we did not fulfill the request. Because
We did fill the
Well,
request,
we fulfilled it.
but we filled it late. So let's get the record straight. The city of Harvey did finalize those records. We were not within the FOIA
That's very bad.
requirement
I
time
got the
frame.
information.
I was still.
Okay, but I just want to stress that, the clarification for us, thank you,
Thank you for clarifying.
thank you.
If we were able to do it after the 5 day, we probably could have did it before we were late. So it seems that that we could have done it because we fulfilled it, as you just mentioned it, right? So we could have done it sooner and we wouldn't even have a $5,500 anything on the table. So my ask is what guardrails are in place that this won't be a redundant happening?
It's human errors. Human
No,
error.
no, no, please. Okay, now that's just a question, but guardrails, given that it has been 1 week since we found ourselves in this situation. We are still working on that, but as we all know, go through our daily lives,
Yeah.
hindsight is always the best understanding, and human error does occur on a daily basis. Now, if I sit up here and constantly come back and say, oops, human error is the cause, then you would have question for alarm.
It seems like
Right now, we will implement some steps, but to do so, as we speak and say, this is the guideline, I cannot answer that, and I don't think anyone sitting in the seat could answer this today's date in the fact of a week.
Right.
I thank you for your answers. I thank you for your questions. You have a second. Alderman Smith?
that is.
Yes, so, correct me if I'm wrong, if you have the 5 days for that request, and if that person asks for additional information, that means they're still within those 5 days, but is it possible we're late because they asked for additional items within those 5 days?
If it was an additional items, then it would be a new FOIA. It was not in additional items. We were asking this individual to narrow his scope. So, information, because it was a large amount of information. So, he did not add anything to the original FOIA. He just narrowed his scope. In the meantime, within the
Can I see it?
situation, I didn't say it was human error, that it was the oversight. But it was just that. They did find it, they did respond, but it was a little after the fact. Right? So that is, just needed a motion to approve it, and second, we have that motion. That person, the police department being this laryngitis. More debates. That being closed, may we take our vote? Thank you.
So you're voting. They need 4 votes. Okay, they all voted except Delaney.
Thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over.
Okay, on the second agenda, on the second, we need a resolution. The resolution authorizing agreement with South Suburban Mayors and Management Association and the Illinois Department of Transportation and the City of Harvey programming funds for the Broadway Improvement Project. Now, some of you guys have remembered, we're talking about Broadway in the front of the building here. This is funding that,
Yes, it passed.
will be,
Vote passed.
the payment will be through
5 to 1.
replaced by, a grant,
Yeah.
replaced with IDAC from the toll road. So that is our matching funds.
the attorney
So
got
there should
rich.
be no
Ryan
city
got
funds
nothing.
affiliated with this. Am I correct?
No, not Rich. I'm sorry, but he's
City,
the only one that got paid.
administrator. Thank you.
55, I guess, was the
So
attorney
what this
fees
is the,
that he charged to file the case for the FOIA denial.
Into
So it's just a big waste of time.
the mobility and the
Only the
unsafe
lawyer
road
got paid
conditions. It's
on the
gonna
backs of the
provide
residents,
the
'cause we
service
pay that
transportation program, STB, local funds with transportation
Yeah, that's the only
development
thing,
credits from the highway. Applied toward matching funds. We need to pass this resolution in order to proceed forward. That is the only restriction the city has to this, improvement, which is very exciting, I will say so myself. So we need a motion and we need a second.
We have a motion by the third and a second by the sixth.
Okay, is there, any debate?
Yes.
Chairperson, Chapman? I'm sorry. Alderperson Chapman?
Waste of time.
Pro Tem. The Broadway Improvement Project, after reviewing the details, brings in about $3,690,719.79, and that covers construction and engineering, funded primarily through the federal STP dollars
Okay,
and transportation
you're welcome.
development.
Thank you,
credits.
Shelby.
Back on Monday, January the 26th of this year, when we had this on the agenda, we were gonna have a public forum before we were going to vote on this at 6 p.m. And so one, we didn't have that, and that's one of my first debatable pieces. But the other piece is that I wanna make sure that we have lawful signature authorities fully confirmed by this council on federally funded paperwork. And in addition to that, as a third piece, a clear projected timeline to the residents on how this affects their daily livelihood and just kind of overall of the start to finish. In reviewing the full scope of what was shared in the packet, it was specific to the dollar amount. But I think that one, we really need to take a step back and follow through first with that public forum that we intended to have already back on the Monday, January 26th agenda.
Okay, thank you very much. We're gonna confirm to make sure we're legally responsible, definitely. And going forward, remember, each resolution, we can ask 2 questions. We can only ask 1 question at a time until we get everybody's questions answered. Then we can go back, and this is according to the Robert's Rules of Order, which we adapted for our style. But given the fact that I did not have the chance to discuss this, I will go ahead and attempt to answer your 3 questions. May you start with your first one?
The first one was, we're here to vote on it today, so the first question, I guess, is just a no, because I had asked about us hosting a public forum.
Okay, so
So if this was tabled tonight, maybe that could be a part of the request, that it be tabled so that we can have a public forum, or postpone it until a later date, just so we can follow suit with what we already did. So that kind of.
okay, so that's your first question, okay. Okay, that was your first question, because we did discuss and we did table it on January 26th about having a public forum, a public meeting on this. I did recall that as well. That was an oversight, so thank you for bringing that up. Now we have to decide, do we want to do this with remaining aldermen? Do you want a public forum, or would you rather go through and have the actual vote? Because remember, the role of a mayor, a role of the mayor pro tem, is to sit here and bring this to the alderman's attention, the alderperson's attention. While we're in the city council, the alderpersons are responsible for the legislative aspect of this city. And that is voting on this. So if I'm gonna ask, because I do believe as an alderman and as mayor pro tem, we should all question that. So I'm gonna ask, does anyone have a question about whether we should table this, or whether we should continue with the vote?
Point of order.
Yes, Alderperson Rogers.
Madam Chair Pro Tem, one of the things that Senator Alderman brought out that I found to be pretty substantial in my decision making is not so much of the public hearing, but the timelines from start to finish. That will indicate how we, as the remaining city council members, can vote. How long will this affect the quality of life for the citizens here?
Okay, I'm gonna turn that over to the city administrator. Excuse me, can you please go to the microphone so everyone can have the opportunity to hear you? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Thank you for your question. To answer the question, we first have to vote to receive the money. Then we'll go out to bid. So we know what the project is, but until we go out to bid and actually have a contractor solidified, they will tell us how long the project will actually take. There's some projections, but I don't know if they're gonna cut down half the street, both sides of the street at one time. I don't know, but it's right here in front of Broadway. We won't know until we have a contractor in place.
So just to recap, we're only talking 2 blocks in front of our city building.
Yes.
Just 2 blocks. So within this block would be our building, of course, alderpersons, and probably the Park District, but the Park District is an adjacent parking lot, and Restoration Ministries that could park along the side. The other business that would be really effective right now would be next door, the apartment complex, but they have an entrance to go in and an exit to go in. Going down a little bit further, the only business that I think is active on the floor, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Davis, is the fact that It would be Gloria's.
I think that's the only business on that strip.
Okay, so
That
Gloria's
would be
will
access.
still have Park going across the street. Going across the street to get in and out of her location too, right?
That would be a conversation when we get the contractor to make sure.
Okay, to make sure.
Access.
Okay, so that her customers or their customers will have access. So back to the original question, with that being said, 2 blocks, do we think we need a public forum? Alderpersons, yes. Alderman, Randall.
I for one have always respected the other person and their board request.
I do too.
I think that's important. I'm a fifth ward alder. This project is in the second. With that being said, 2 questions or 1 question is number one, I would have to ask the second ward alder what issues do she need to clarify or would like to address in this public hearing, if they haven't already been addressed already. And secondly, I know that sometimes with grants there is a time constraint for them to be submitted before I could really answer that question.
Okay, as Ms. Davis just indicated, the time when we sign this, then, I'm sorry.
I'm referring to the submittal, like they'll say it's need to be in by such and such date.
So we already have the grant funds. The grant funds have already been solidified, as I normally say, it's a $3.6 million project. SSMA is giving us an additional $300,000 for the road replacement or overlay. So it's additional money that we needed to complete the total amount of $3.6 million.
Okay, so then your second question would go back to Alderman Chapman, if you could just answer that question, and then we can proceed forward, because then we need to move on. Thank you.
I think it's just always rightful. We showed and proved a planning process. That's why we had it on the Monday, January 26th agenda. And at that time, the vision of our leadership felt it was necessary as well to host that public forum. So in following, this is the same exact agenda from January 26th. The only thing that's missing, well, the previous agenda before this agenda just had the Broadway. So I think we should just still follow suit. I know that the residents of the second ward across Broadway, from the Power Building, preservation of affordable housing at 178 East 155th Street, all the way back through Miss Gloria, who's been here 40 years, across the street from the security company.
Okay, so
I just
you
think
want to continue. Okay, she answered your question and see if that's sufficient. Again, the aldermen have a right to use their vote, and we can move forward on this. Are there any other new debate questions? Okay, then I'm going to ask, we already know, just to recap, this is a 2-block radius. Just to recap, buildings that are going to be affected. We've already received the grant. It is up to all of us to determine when do we proceed forward. Because I personally would hate to have to return this money. That would not be in best interest, I'm sorry. Then what we could do after we approve this, and this was a good suggestion, maybe we can have a debate with, a public forum to keep everyone in tune in what's going on so we can proceed forward. So I'm going to ask for you to vote, and I give you my word, if this passed, we will have a hearing so we can make the residents of the second ward, and I echo those sentiments, Alderman Randall, we all have to work together, and everyone's opinion matters on this table. On this matter, sitting, approving. So we will have an information setting for the residents. But do we move forward on this or are we done? Please vote. Thank you.
Why are you here? You so mad. Know where I wanna be.
Motion carries, and that is resolution 401.
Thank you very
I
much.
will. I'm gonna grant you that favor.
Can you repeat that, please?
401.
Thank you. Okay, as we move on to resolution 3,
Shelley, you're right.
the resolution is
Loud.
the
She's loud.
under the highway code.
As usual.
This resolution authorizes the use of money to motor fuel purposes of maintaining the streets and the highway beginning from January 1st, 26 to January 31st, 26. And what this represents is the city will use $314,772 to purchase salt, coal patch, alley repairs, trees removals, restoration for sidewalks, for 2026,
And I don't care.
like it is in the budget.
That's why she's
So
really
we need
mad.
a resolution
How am I gonna get mad at a YouTube profile?
to utilize the motor fuel tax to purchase salt, coal patch, alley and street repair, etc., as I indicated. We need a motion and we've got a second.
We have a motion by the third and a second by the fifth.
Okay, is there any debate?
Yes.
Lord, this meeting gonna drag on forever.
I do support this resolution. It authorizes the city to continue providing essential street and highway maintenance services throughout 2026. Residents' motor fuel tax funds are restricted and can only be used for transportation-related work. And so it's important that the residents understand how these services will be delivered. So I just respectfully request that the council be provided with the project list and outlining what work will be done, how each area of the city will benefit through an equitable dispersion of these services across all wards. So if we could just have a project timeline when we get this going, so that I can, as well as the other alderpersons, identify, I know that we all have some very rigid areas in our wards that really need support and need the streets to be repaved and the potholes filled. And some areas are worse than others. So if we could submit that, so that could be a part of what the project timeline looks like. And so the things that are really bad get the assistance that they need first.
I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm glad you brought that up.
Thank you.
For those of you who live in the first ward, many of you know me. For those of you who know me through the city, you only know of me. So with that being said, when I got elected in 2011, I sat with one of the previous mayors. And I said, I wanted 1/6 of the services that every alderman receives. At that point, and I kid you not, I was told that could not happen.
And I'll talk to you
Well, I am giving you my word,
in front of everybody.
and not only to this alderman,
Respond right now.
persons, but to you, each and every one of you residents. I take you seriously. I too am a resident of Harvey. I too am a lifelong resident of Harvey. And I have no plans on moving. So with that being said, I am going to ask you to bring your concern up to your alderperson. Your alderperson, there is not a person here that does not have my cell phone number. And I'm not talking about a city cell phone number. I am talking about my personal number. They bring their concerns to me. They go back to you and say, I gave this to Shirley Drowinski. Now you know, I am not only pledging to them, but I am pledging to you. We will do our best to accommodate. And if it's not feasible, you will hear from the mayor's staff. Along with, you have every ability to reach out to the city. You can go through city.gov. And if you need a training session, I guarantee you, we could set up a training session here to show everyone how to use that system and feel comfortable with using that. In the meantime, because I know if any person has residents like I have in the first ward, they are not computer savvy. We've already implemented with Mayor Clark and I that the first ward residents can contact. And any first ward resident sitting in this room right now, would you care to say who I said at the city, at our ward meetings? If no one wants to stand up, I appreciate that, I understand, I'm not gonna ask anyone, but I've always said you can contact Ramona. Ramona, where are you? Over there, you can contact Ramona. There's also two ladies sitting at the desk, you can contact them. So you have the authority to contact the city staff. You have the authority to contact your alderman, your representation. And I will get back. We will get back, not I, we. Because we are in this together. I cannot be successful if you're not successful.
All you gotta do
We
is
have
look
to
and
be
see where the
realistic,
ain't here.
and as I give you my word, I will do my very best, as I always have.
It's probably up here.
So I hope you can take that to the record. I'm recording it, it's on the record. I have implemented that procedure in my ward. And when I did not have that mayor's support, we got through it. We got through it. So I give the alderman, I will work with you. This is not personal. You do not have to like me. I do not have to like you. This is not about like or dislike. This has to do with what's right and what's wrong and what we deserve as residents of the city of Harvey. So thank you. So I hope that answers your question. Are there any other debates? With that, I ask us to vote.
Everybody voted yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 4019.
Guess that's that one.
Okay,
Time to
we got
flip
a
the
couple
page.
more, and, there we go.
One resolution and 2 ordinances.
Public events, matter. And we're resolution accepting certain property located commonly known as 106 and 108 West 106th Street, approving a in case this resolution accepts property known as 106 to 108 upon execution. The city authorized the city legal counsel to submit dismissed court fees leading to the property related. In layman's terms, what this means is this location is a burnt out building. It has been for 12 years. The owner does not pay the fines or does not want to pay I'm sorry, what? Demolition or any of that. So this gives us an opportunity where this owner decided to give this property to the city. Now, if you remember properly, we have a lot of abandoned houses. The city does not own them. If the city does not own them, the city cannot touch them. The only way for us to get them removed, we have to take them to court. We take them to court, it's a 2 to 5 year process, if not longer, and there are legal costs to that. It costs for each property a minimum of $5,000. So in lieu of all that, this owner decides to give us the deed. So he is not gonna go, or she is not go through the legal aspects of it. The city will hold the lien totaling $12,000, and the property has been estimate value as $380,000. The city will enter into a demo or a sale of property. That is what the intent is, so we can eliminate one less abandoned property. So this is a wonderful opportunity for residents who own these buildings. If they want to eliminate court costs and fees, that they can donate the deed to the city. The city at that point will clean it up and sell the property. So we need a resolution to accept this. With it,
Mayor President, could I
Yes.
suggest a slight modification to section 2A of this?
absolutely.
So this is talking about this, the authority to sign documents, and it says the mayor and the city clerk, for instance. I think we should amend that since we don't have a full acting mayor, now to say the mayor pro tem and the city administrator are authorized to administer documents.
Okay, but if this were more on resolution before, yes.
YouTube account.
Section 2A.
Believe me when I say it's one of the many personalities of Amir. Cause he's the only one not here, and he got like 150 personalities.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, on the actual resolution is
So
what
I
she's
don't let
referencing. She's
block him,
referencing,
y'all. Don't block him.
that the mayor and the city clerk are hereby
When I get
authorized.
off, when I get
What
out of
we're
here, we
saying,
can
will
definitely
we amend this
pick up this
resolution
conversation
documentation paperwork to the actual paperwork that you have for this resolution, to say Mayor Pro Tem and the city administrator, authorize this, to sign the
Can
document.
y'all still hear?
The original
I
said
just plugged in the
that
battery
the
charger.
mayor and the clerk.
Right,
So can y'all still hear? Put a 1 if you can hear, please.
Mayor pro tem
right, and the city administrator, right, and then everything can proceed properly with this. But then, and everything
Okay,
can
good,
go properly,
okay.
normally with this. Yes,
I know I had mentioned this earlier, this was actually, you walked into the question that I had in our earlier resolution, I had 3 questions, and one of them was regarding the signature.
Thank you.
Currently, our city administrator has not been confirmed. So, because there has not been a vote, a majority taken by this council to affirm, or part of it to confirm that we have a city administrator, do we believe that that is the route to go, as you just stated, who should be signing off?
Yes, good question. So on that last resolution, it actually authorized the city administrator to, that was in the previous one.
I know.
If she hasn't been confirmed by the council, she's still the interim city administrator, and she still would have the power. So I believe that is sufficient.
And
Yes,
just
Christine.
asking regarding the interim piece, that since how long can someone be an interim?
There isn't actually a limit under your city code or under the municipal code.
Thank you.
okay. So with that being said, we're asking for, approval for the actual ordinance with the amendment stating in the actual paperwork, Mayor Pro Tem and city administration in lieu of mayor and city clerk. Thank you. Please vote. Oh, is there any more debates? Hearing none, I close that. You vote. Thank you.
Two more ordinances.
That is resolution 4020.
Okay, thank you. What I want to say to the public also it may be a little bit confusing. I am sitting up here and yet I'm voting as an alderman. I'm just trying to think on how I would think if I was sitting there watching this, and it just came to mind. With that being said, as Mayor Pro Tem, I do not lose the vote as an alderman. Okay, so I can still vote as an alderman. I do not vote as the mayor. Okay, so I still only get one vote. So I want to make sure that's clear, and if anyone has any understanding on that. But by law, I still remain in a couple thumbs window, but yes, I am still your alderman. Thank you. I'm pretty good at reading facial expressions, unlike why, so bear with me if I interrupt that. I just want to make sure everyone has a clear understanding. Okay, I think everyone for that, we are going to resolution. The ordinance vacating that portion of the parkway right-of-way, generally located on 153rd and 154th Street, immediately west of the Metro Electric Railroad in Harvey, Illinois. This ordinance authorizes the city to vacate the property and convert the right-of-way, Park Avenue between 153rd and 154th Street Metro. And what this is basically is this ordinance was pre-approved already, and it was pre-approved by the alderman on August 9th, 2021. The ordinance was approved by Alderperson Keys, Alderperson Michon, Tober, Alderperson Rogers, Alderperson Berwinski, Alderperson Pruda, Alderperson Randall L. was absent. The city will vacate the property so Metro can do their work, and then once it's completed, the city will resume ownership when the work is completed. We need a motion and a second for this ordinance.
We have a motion by the third and a second by the
Okay, I open this for any debate. Hearing none. Close it.
Good, okay, then I should go to the last
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry, also on this, I take this back, we're going through the paperwork. We would also need, before you actually vote, we also need to change the wording from mayor and city clerk to pro temp and administration for the time being. For this ordinance as well. And thank you, please vote.
motion carries,
passed.
and that is ordinance number 3520.
3520, that was number 5.
Okay, thank you.
Your last
Okay, and the
one.
ordinance, the next one is 6, is the ordinance vacating the portion of the Main Street right, generally located, it's the same location, 153rd and Park Avenue, the Metro Commuter Rail Division, and the Transportation Authorities. This ordinance is the city to vacate between the street. It's just a repeat, it's a little bit more detailed though. And again, before I see the first, second, the verbiage on this paperwork needs to be changed to Mayor Pro Temp and the city administration. So we need a motion and a second, and then we'll open up the debate. Thank you.
We have a motion by the second and a second by the fifth.
Thank you very much. Is there any debate? Madam Chairperson, I can call it Chairperson. I gotta get these titles straight. Madam Alderperson.
Thank you. While I was not here for the 2021 year when this was voted upon, I do believe this is great for the city, right? This supports our transit development oriented plan that is specifically housed across the second ward. And many of the things voted on tonight are in a collaborative effort for supporting this. What I can say is that I'm just hopeful that across this period of time where we are investing in this infrastructure that will change the entire Southland, you know, we'll have over 10,000 commuters in city.
Excuse me, may I have your question?
Yes. Pardon me. I'm just asking that we continue to provide the transparency of timelines and in instances of we're about to vacate an entire portion of Main Street and 153rd Street.
But you just said it was
The
okay.
question is, how are we, outside of myself as the second ward alderwoman, notifying businesses and residents about the change and across the city of Harvey about the change that will happen?
Excellent point. We are, what we could do, and we can brainstorm this a little bit, between us, and that means all of us. We will put it in, the water belt, we'll put the notice there, I think that's a great idea. Administrative clerk, can you make sure that happens? And we can also put it on the city website to get the information. And if we can think of any other creative ideas to inform, and that's something that we're gonna utilize a little bit more. We're gonna, but that's down the way as we continue to grow and move the city forward. And something that I will discuss, in my piece coming up. But thank you. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there any other debate? Hearing none, I close the debate.
This isn't actually a debate, it was more of to bring to your attention.
Excuse me.
This particular resolution was dated January 26, 2026. So I think we might want to amend that.
Okay, along with that, we'll amend it to reflect the current date and time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Passed.
Motion carries, and that is ordinance number 3521.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Public comment.
I'm gonna make sure I speak into this mic and just too short. Okay, we're gonna go into public comment.
First up is Geraldine Harris, followed by Reverend M. King Jr.
So Ryan, I wonder if he's speaking on public comment. Sure.
Honorable Pro Tem Mayor Lucy, and this honorable council, thank you for your service and your dedication. That's the way we're gonna get.
Change my password now.
Which has been such a burden
Change my
on our
password.
administration, which has caused 35% of revenues to be taken, thereby reducing needed service, layoff of workers, and stopping progress of advancement to restore in our city. For the residents of Harvey, it is also required that you pray, fast, and ask for forgiveness, and use your signature on petition and support. In the Bible, the books of Esther, Jeremiah, and Nehemiah that show how collective working together, what can be accomplished. We are seeking God's mercy and deliverance to our city of Harvey. On January 1st, 2021, on Friday, Mayor Clark asked the community to pray to God and ask for forgiveness of our sins and have mercy on us, and heal our city and the world of this pandemic coronavirus. I see and he bless you and me, and everybody else is still alive. We pray this in his name, in the name of Jesus. Let us have faith and trust in our God. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
opportunity, I agree with the loss of our mayor. That's what sound hits my mind, kind of about 10 seconds for his silence for his memory. Amen. I'm going to go through some things that I can always be worried about all the time. I'll put it this way. I'm glad you addressed that. I'm glad you addressed that. I'm saying all the persons should get 100% information on the finances. All the persons should have direct equal access to the department funds. All the persons should give equal access to financial decisions. Community policing should be ran by the citizens and directed by the police department with the thought of the city. City service commission appointments should be open to the public prior to selection. All the persons should be allowed to vote on civil service commissions in the public. Citizen business commission should be for each ward. That means each ward, all the person should have access to the business they have working through the city so they can find out what they like, what they don't like. The problem is we're losing too many businesses in the city of Harvey. Property tax applicants should be appointed for businesses and residents as a liaison between the city and the residents. Lower excess water fees. They should not be, what I saw in that building over there is horrible. We cannot get that $100-something million by taking out money from people who don't have it. Supply meetings, agenda and text on emails and residents' businesses. What I'm saying is these sheets we've been getting can be put on the internet. And they can put on the internet to every citizen to register their email or their text and save money for putting paper down here. So when they come in, they already can see what the agenda is. Water bill forgiveness for all citizens. I'm asking for that. Those citizens that are out there probably owe thousands of dollars. You will not get that money. Businesses that owe you millions of dollars, whatever, you will not get that money. They're going to leave or let the property go. So I said some cooperation from that. Remove the barriers between this council meeting and us. Tear down that wall. Tear down this wall. This doesn't make any sense to me because we are all equal in this city. And the only other thing I'm going to say is that we have each older person should have ability to run at least 2 of the city workers once a week in each ward so that you have access, that those people will be able to work with you and get things done and that older person knows that needs to be done at ward. Because sometimes you might even have some patch for the road that you get and it could be done within the ward. Thank you.
Next up is Amanda Askew, followed by Ryan Kowalski.
Good evening, everyone. So I have a couple things I would like to point out. As far as number one, between December 3rd and 4th, the water department did some work on my street. That's not the first time that has been done. However, my concern was the work was scheduled to be done, which would include turning off the water. The work was scheduled to start at 12 noon, and the notice on my door happened at 11:37. And that's 23 minutes before the work is supposed to be done. I work from home, I'm in the middle of meetings, I'm washing clothes, I'm cooking. I think if you're going to disrupt residents' day, which is fine, I do believe at the bare minimum, it should be a 48-hour notice, not a 23-minute notice. That's number one. Number two, my concern with this administration, as I believe another alderman had pointed out, is that there's a lot of interim, and there's nothing on the agenda about whether we were voting for an interim mayor, and talking about the clerk's position, and also the interim city administrator, and the interim police chief. So those are several very key important positions to this administration that have not been voted on nor confirmed. And I understand that there's no timeline to having an interim position with the city council, but I do believe that the sense of urgency needs to happen like yesterday. So those people can be locked in and do their job properly. Because when you're interim, that means you can be let go at any time because Illinois is an at-will state when it comes to employment. Oh, I'm sorry, employment. Number 3, 2026, my Harvey City Council wish list is that the committee meetings that are coming up, if they could be posted on the website in a timely fashion. For example, the finance committee meetings, they're posted or notified that Friday evening and then for that following Monday. There was no Economic Development Committee meetings in 2025 outside of the former Economic Director, Mr. Suarez, when he had the meeting back in April. But there hasn't been any as a committee, there has been no legislative committee meetings, and so I'm just wishing that the aldermen that chair those committees please put that out beforehand so that residents can take part. And lastly, I guess my concern is with the lawsuits. When you discussed the one with Mr. Zinowelski, you mentioned his name and amount, but we don't know the name of the person for the lawsuit or settlement case for number 4. And so I guess that was very weird to me, like if you're going to name the names of all people, then make it equitable and do it for all. Also, my concern was that the council stated the name and the amount, but the name and the amount of this law case was discussed on social media prior to the city council meeting. And I think that's unprofessional of an alderman to discuss litigation matters that they're voting on social media prior to this meeting. Be more professional, please.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to address a few things. I know several other people mentioned the lack of voting for the interim mayor and the interim clerk. Unless I was mistaken, I thought the lawyer for the city said during the last meeting that that vote should take place right away at the next meeting and that someone needs to have 4 votes. So, maybe I didn't understand that exactly, but even if that was not the case, I mean, I think, and I hope most residents would agree, I think we want an interim mayor and not a mayor pro tem. My understanding is that's supposed to be, an emergency, the mayor's sick or something, the mayor's no longer with us. So we need to follow proper procedures, and I echo the last speaker, that needs to be done now. And the fact that you would put a whole agenda, did you know this agenda was not even changed from before Mayor Clark's passing? They just slapped a different date on it. So last week, when we were asking about, well, what in the hell is going on, and how did we just lose the mayor, and we didn't even know where he was for a few months, and everyone was saying, oh, well, that's inconsiderate when I ask questions. Now this week, they want to pretend that he's still here. Is this okay,
Oh my God.
Are you okay with this? Wow. I hope you're not being spectators out there.
Mom is here too.
Those people work for you.
It's crazy.
They work for you. Don't you come here and watch them. You tell them what. This is my public comment, Mayor Pro Tem. I'm reclaiming my time for being interrupted. Mayor Pro Tem, I'm reclaiming my time. Please stop interrupting me. I'll wait.
You're reclaiming your time. I have no problem with that. But all I'm going to ask you is please not get excited. We're all adults and we can all hear you.
This is my public comment. It's my free speech. Stop trying to tell me what I can and cannot say.
Wow.
The gall you have, the absolute gall. By the way, the 2 Family Dollar stores, Ms. Drewinski, are still closed. Why? Who's in charge? Because you're not the interim mayor, you're the mayor pro tem. And Colby even said that. Several people have said that.
Wow.
We all know it. Who's closing our Family Dollar stores? People rely on those things for basic necessities. They're still closed. You're in charge now, and Alderman, you put her in charge. Ms. Smith, the one who wants to talk a whole bunch of crap about me online. Why are those both Family Dollar stores closed? I'm so glad you think that's funny. So if you're in the 3rd ward, look, she thinks it's funny that you can't have access to basic goods. I hope you all see that. The other thing I was going to say is this whole agenda was bogus. What you need to do is open the books, audit these employees, get rid of all the people like Ms. Davis and Mr. Mona Simpson who take city cars home. Why does she need to take a city car home to drive home to South Island? Do you have an answer for that, Mr. Rinsky? I thought we were in a financial crisis. Are we, yes or no?
But you just
All those employees, eliminate the waste, rehire our essential workers. You have 4 firefighters per shift on duty. Are you okay with that? And you're just gonna watch to see what they want to do? I'm not okay with that. I don't feel safe. And I talk to our firefighters and they don't either. But you know what? They're not gonna come up here and say that because they're scared. They're scared that if they tell the truth, you're gonna fire them, like you already did, the one who did speak up. So shame on you. You shouldn't have voted on any of this crap. And you lied about all my FOIA stuff. It took Harvey a year, only after the suit was fired, to release that information. And that included land. information about what they're doing with property in Harvey. Liars, all of you.
She co-signed everything she said. That was so disrespectful.
And then I want the police right now. I have an order of protection against this lady. I have an order of protection against this lady who's affiliated with Jedediah Brown, and she has addressed me. She is not supposed to address me. That includes third-party harassment. So I would like to request a police officer to please intervene.
Oh my gosh.
This is a formal complaint.
Why don't you just leave? How about that? Just leave.
This is a formal
Who is the
complaint.
next public comment?
Thank you. Thank you. Please send an officer.
If they do, they better come get him.
The third alderwoman is making very accusatory and direct and threatening steps towards me. The second alderwoman, could you please, as the executive, execute on that? It's very demeaning and rude, and we're not here for that. The public is making a comment, I'm allowing them to do such, as much as I'm listening, I know she is too. I'm not taking heed to the particular information being stated.
Ask him to show the order of protection that he doesn't have.
Rebuttaling back, as I am trying to be the top at legislation and representing my particular community in a good, efficient
Ask
way.
him to
So
show he's.
yelling out things that this is a part of my team, I am the only second ward alderwoman. So with that in mind, I can't speak for the masses of anyone. And so it's very troubling that what she's saying is very piercing. Perhaps somebody in the crowd can't hear what's being said here based on the meaningless rhetoric here. Thank you.
Is taken. Thank you. And as I talked to you yesterday, as we had our dialogue, we talked yesterday, be responsible on the dialogue. Did not in the past, but I am asking that everyone here in this city council, while you are in this council, that we respect one another and do not develop any towards each other. Did I not?
Supporters ought to be
I
embarrassed.
just want to make sure that has already been addressed. What people do.
He has an order of protection in his
And
mind
elected
only.
officials do outside of this council is not up to the mayor or not. It is up to you as residents. Same thing as far as any other alderman, how they conduct themselves. You as voters will have a choice, as you always did every 4 years during the election process. So do not let anyone take that away from you. Your voice is heard. So when we are in this council meeting, I am asking everyone, please be respectful to one another. I understand there is some frustration. Yes, I echo those sentiments. In some of the comments, we do not encourage dialogue going back and forth. And I'm sorry, Mrs. McBride, I will be with you in a moment, but I just want to seek clarification. I have not had the opportunity to speak as the mayor, but those concerns will be addressed, and those concerns are my concerns as well. So we have more in common than we have not in common. And the one in common is we are residents. You are my neighbor and I am yours. This is not personal. So thank you. And yes, what happens in this council meeting is my responsibility. And I'm just asking, I will treat you with respect. Please retreat everyone else with respect. You can get up there and say anything you want.
Everybody has free speech, not just him.
But please, be respectful. We do not have to yell and scream.
Exactly.
No one has to yell and scream. We are all adults. So thank you. And yes, I'm glad you stand up for your constituents. So thank you. And I apologize for the break. Yes, please continue. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Beth McBride. I do happen to live in the village of Dalton.
member of the Thornton Township Citizens Action Committee. I am a community advocate. I stand for what's needed or good in our communities. It has come to my attention that Mavis, who is mutual aid of the firefighters in communities around Harvey, have had a lot of extra duties here in Harvey. When there are real fires where there is engulfing flames in a building or a house, there are communities such as Dalton or Markham or Posen, even Tinley Park has even been here. We've seen them in person. So these firefighters are doing extra duty for Harvey because they are real servants. They really are concerned that fires get put out, but it's very concerning that the situation has gotten to the place where there's 4 firefighters on duty with every shift here in Harvey. And you've had some very bad fires, engulfing fires. And so I'm just imploring you, asking you, seeking that you would search for ways to bring more firefighters back on duty. Because the firefighters in Markham or Dalton or Posen, they're not going to complain because they are real servants. They'll come here. They'll continue to come here. But it's putting a strain on the other communities, and that shouldn't happen. There should be some way, somehow, that you can administratively or governmentally figure out a means or a way to bring firefighters back on duty. Because that's a civic matter, it's a community matter. And this is affecting people's lives and safety. I'm very hopeful that you will hear me with your hearts and that you will find some means to bring more firefighters back on duty here in the city of Harvey.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, and public comment. Okay, we go into our main event. I just beforehand, just to let everyone know, automatic comment will be on every meeting, every city council meeting, twice a week. So each person twice a month.
Like twice a week.
Twice a week.
The crazy thing is, I actually was going to approach Ryan differently today.
This was an oversight. This time, I've already extended my apologies to
Give
that.
you a comment.
And I assured her she will be on the next account. The next meeting.
So that's out the window, that idea.
When it is my opportunity.
It is whatever it's gonna be.
Okay, again, I'm gonna ask Alderman.
Whatever it's gonna be. But this order of protection, y'all, I ought to file a defamation claim. He loves filing lawsuits. I ought to file one against his dumb butt for even saying something like that. But I'm glad it was recorded. He's standing up there like by the officers, like
good evening, everybody. So glad to see this
super
full house here again today. My automatic comment is going to be extremely brief. First of all, I'd like to pay condolences to my friend Joe Michael Collins, who lived at 147th Street. He was walking to the store, and an automobile hit a light pole, knocked it down, and crushed him to death. And my condolences, my deepest condolences go out to him and his family. Mr. Tyrone, Mr. Tyrone Collier on Wells Street, 25 East, died of cancer. And my condolences go out to his family. So, in essence, what I'm saying is that, God has no respectable person, and that when it's your time, it's your time. So, I would strongly suggest that everybody get their house in order. I'd like to send out a special thank you to the citizens and the residents of this great city for praying for me, having a speedy recovery. As you all may well know, I was in a severe motorcycle accident, and I'm not saying whether or not I'm gonna stop riding or quit riding, but that's yet to be seen when the weather breaks. And to all the citizens and the residents here in the great city, you know, we've been through an abundance of extreme cold days in one digit when the wind chill factor was down to 10 and 11% degrees, and I'm glad to see that everybody survived it. We're going into some warmer weather now. I think it's going to be up in the 40s, so we should all benefit from that. So in essence, what I wanted to say, this is the end of my report, and this administrative staff, they worked diligently in spite of all the adversities and the variables that we've been through as a city, as a community since the loss of our beloved mayor. And I think they should be commended on continuing to try to keep the business moving forward here in the great city of Harvey. And thank you all so very much.
Okay, Shelley.
You would like to go
That's
next?
not gonna
I was gonna go in this order, and then,
I'll ask him
would that
a
be
question.
okay? Or do you wanna
As
go
a
next?
journalist, he'd have to prove that, and it'll fall flat on
You
his
don't mind?
face.
Okay, thank you.
It'll fall flat on his face. I wish you would even try. I welcome him to, actually.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
I wish you would even try.
Actually, I think your mic is better
So
over
that's the
here
case.
than it is over
Anybody
there.
in the country, he could say is on Jed's team, and that would have to apply to them. That's ridiculous. Courts will laugh him out of there like the last judge did when he blew the case with Jed and I'm here.
I want to start off,
I was there.
had a good Super Bowl weekend. Even if you don't like Super Bowl, you don't like football, and our Chicago Bears won there, hopefully you went to a good party and ate some good food, like a lot of people who don't watch football.
I'm not worried in the least.
I would like to start off by saying,
Not in the
our
absolute
time,
least.
death, of our mayor, which is still devastating, and still hasn't soaked in, and I don't know if it ever will. I can't say that business cannot go on as usual. You know, things have to change. You know, in layman terms, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole city here. I hope y'all can understand what I'm saying. We really need to get together. We owe our residents so much for everything that they're thinking. And I'm a resident too, I live here. Everybody, if you don't know where I live, you can find me. Just ask where Tracy lives, right down the corner watching school. You know, we are residents so much. Let's show our residents, let's press rewind and try to start over. And the only way we can start that over is starting with a team effort. You know, I'm Mayor Pro Tem. Okay, I'm considered a player, not that type of player.
Not from the Himalayas.
A player. Be in all. You know, I'm a player. We're on the team. I'm on the player. And with that being said, all teams need a coach. Yeah. All teams need a coach. Shirley, Madam Pro Tem,
He got her vote now. I mean, she got her
you are our coach right now. I'm gonna hand you this whistle. Show that he's a team, and to show people that I'm a team player because I care about my city. I came here and I got people counting on me. So I'm gonna stand here right now as a team player and open my hand, and I want to see any of the aldermen want to come here and touch my hand, and we can show that we could be a team. And I want the coach to address it. Is anybody gonna stand up and touch my hand and show me team player? So we can start this over.
Bella, hold on, let me make you a moderator. Let me see if I can do it.
For the sake of our city, all we willing to do is everybody
You don't gotta get on your knees, you gotta stand like this, like, coach. Let's do it. Let's do it. For the sake of our residents. For the sake of our residents and respect the people that vote for you. Can I finish up? Can I finish up? Can I finish showing enough? Thank you, appreciate it. Coach, you call it from here. Somebody got to do it.
He's in the game. We're all in the game.
Thank you, Paul. I should have been did that. But you know, I ain't been live in a while. And I actually forgot how to do it last time. So I'll make sure I remember. So yeah, y'all missed the comments that really came through.
Get with all of us as a team.
Thank you, Bella.
Thank you.
So that was a good sign. I'm happy that happened. You know, who knows? Symbolism is everything. So they just did that. Maybe they will try harder to work better. Maybe they will have maybe 5 votes. You know, 6 even for her to be the interim mayor if they decide to put that on the agenda next meeting in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't go to church often. Harvey, good evening.
Hey.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, I just want to start off once again. Most of the time, it's just all about gratitude. I'm extremely grateful, number one, to have this opportunity.
You'll probably pop
I'm
in here in a
extremely grateful
second.
for all of the staff, everyone that does everything to help make this city great. But most importantly, the residents. And yes, we are residents, but all of us, the strength that we get from you is more important than anything else. And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't really care what anybody say about the city of Harvey, except for one thing. I know we're great. And you know how I know we're great? It's because when it's time to be corrected, you'll do that. But you'll still have the love behind that correction. And if anybody knows anything, steel sharpens steel. But you don't do it on the field. To echo him, there's not a lot of athletes out here. But the point is this, the most important thing to me is that little piece of paper that a lot of you pick up when you come to it. That's the agenda. That's the business. That's what I'm here for.
I'm glad his mom at least got to see that.
And I do it with the mindset of one thing. Is this good for Harvey?
Yeah.
Even if I don't think it's good for me, I might not like it. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to represent the 5th Ward, but even some of the things that we vote on, we have to take into account this is going to affect the entire city. That's not easy to do. And if you've never been in this particular role, you don't have to be an auditor, you just have to be in a leadership role. You have to understand one thing. You're going to have someone that's saying yes and somebody that's saying no. And you still have to get up here and say yes or no, which means somebody's going to be happy and somebody's going to be upset. And so that's why you have to do it with the mindset and the heart that I believe this is good for Harvey. Right now, if we continue to do that, ignore a few distractions, I know that we're going to continue to move forward in the way that we need to do. I'm open to criticism because I'm not perfect. If you think you are, please take a moment to self-reflect. I'm going to continue to do the job that I was elected to do, and I'm going to continue to do it with the mindset and questioning myself first, is this good for Harvey? And I thank you for your love, I thank you for your support, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you here at every single meeting, because we need you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I first want to to address that the agenda's been posted on social media for the past 3 years. So, sorry if you didn't like my post, but I made a New Year's resolution that we're gonna be transparent and accountable, that everybody else needs to be transparent and accountable by me trying to at least put out the truth, especially when we have people running around here doing some things that probably shouldn't be appearing, like frivolous lawsuits on posting for 4 years over and over again in order to, after you've been collecting for 3 years, you would think you would have enough information to find out all the truth, but maybe some people don't know how government works. Now, I've sat in these meetings and I've observed a sign come in and make eye contact with all the person with eye winks and head nods as to say, I'm backing you, with full knowledge that Hassan has cost the city millions in legal fees. Then turn around and falsely accuse the city of extorting businesses. How do you extort from anyone who owes you millions? Make that make sense. Apparently, one of the followers feels it's okay for businesses not to pay taxes or operate without a business license. This same follower has held Hassan's hand to file a police report showing him how to play victim while robbing our city. It's a shame you guys continue to let this follower play in your face and allow them to be your voice. The funeral home alleged they are struggling to pay their taxes because of COVID, which that took place the year that they decided not to pay. Now, we all know millions of people died during the funeral, and profits were made. The funeral homes made more of a profit than anyone else, okay? And they even got PPE laws, and we all know the PPE laws was basically for business, and they have to pay their money back. So, residents, I need you guys to watch the rumors, the lies and spins, research for yourself, don't be a follower of madness. Now, there's some talk about the movement. The movement that's way overdue is to tell these non-law abiding businesses that we will no longer stand for them living off the backs of the residents. This same group feels the city fees for breaking the laws is too high. So why don't they just follow the rules of the city and pay by deadlines? $250 for a license is nothing compared to what they make a day. It's petty and disrespectful to the residents. See, it's a no-brainer, and every taxpaying resident wants them to pay their fair share. But for some odd reason, there's a selected group, residents and non-residents, who have been instructed to protect them with no regard to the funds needed to serve the city. Protecting these businesses with such persistence can only be for one reason. Promises and favors have been made in exchange for donating to a campaign. Residents, we must pay attention to the fact that anyone condoning promoting this behavior and has attempted to correct those followers isn't someone who cares for Harvey. This is a person that doesn't have the city in his best interest in heart.
Okay. Now it's my turn. It's my turn. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's not my turn. I thought it was less. Yes. Alderperson Chip.
Thank you. Good evening, Second Ward and City of Harvey. I want to begin by acknowledging Black History Month, a time to honor resilience, leadership, and community voice, and a reminder that progress is built through accountability, integrity, and collective responsibility. Those values should guide how we govern today. I also want to extend my sincere condolences to the entire Harris family and to True Holiness Church of God in Christ on the passing of Mother Carlita Harris. Our prayers are with the family and church community. Tonight, I want residents to know something important. For the first time in a long time, this council voted unanimously across the board.
A couple of times.
That matters. It shows when clarity is provided and processes are respected, we can come together as one body and move the city forward. We're currently in a transition period. The city is operating without a formally appointed acting mayor and acting clerk, and there's also, or will be, an aldermanic vacancy. While council can continue to meet and vote, these leadership gaps affect how city actions are executed, certified, and enforced. The position of the acting mayor is critical. That one role restores executive authority and allows for the nomination of an acting clerk and the filling of an aldermanic vacancy, either through nomination or by organizing a special advisory committee. These steps help ensure city government can function fully, transparently, and with proper oversight. I want to reiterate, there's three positions here. one position that ignites that. Understood thus far? Some actions taken during the transition period may later require ratification to ensure procedural correctness. Ratification simply means council formally reaffirms actions already taken, so there is no question about the validity and authority. It is a safeguard that protects the city and taxpayers' dollars. I support infrastructure improvements, transit-oriented development, and responsible growth. These investments are necessary to position Harvey for future opportunity. I just want it to be done correctly. Progress must be paired with structure, transparency, and respect for residents. My goals remain simple: protect the city, protect taxpayers' dollars, and have respect for all residents. Privacy should never precede the public. In closing, last night, I know you all saw the Super Bowl, and Bad Bunny gave a stellar performance, but one of the most notable things that went across the backfield of all the people, various shades, ethnicities, colors, creeds, religion, all demographics, stood at the table, and they all agreed that the only thing more powerful than hate is love. Thank you, City of Harvey.
Oh, no, I can record it. I'm recording. You know, just met a Ray-Bans. Now I just took your picture.
Love, absolutely. And speaking of that, I want to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day on February 14th, next week, Saturday. There's a few things that I would like to discuss. Many of what you brought up in this council, brought up in your comments. Yes, it is very important that we have a meeting to appoint the acting or interim mayor and city clerk. With that being said, I'm going to take them on two separate issues. The city clerk, we talked about this in the last meeting, and I did not write that on my notes. I would like it open up to every single resident here in the city of Harvey. If you are interested in becoming the city clerk, it's a part-time position during the day predominantly, as most activities are done Monday through Friday during the day. With that being said, we're asking that you are proficient, because one of the requirements is to assist with or follow up with the FOIAs, to coordinate and type. So you need to be proficient in Microsoft Office, and there will be a few others, but we are asking you to send your letter to the city of Harvey via walk-in, or you can email it, as long as we can get it, because time is sensitive, by this Friday. Not only does everyone here have access to this, it will also reflect starting tomorrow on the city website. So it would be in everyone's best interest, if you are interested in timely, if you can drop it off at the city. There is always an officer here if the doors are not open right at 6:30, right at 12 when people go to lunch, and due to the lack of the staff, you can always call the mayor's office. The mayor's office, and does everyone know that number? Can anyone share that number with me? It's 210-5300. 708-210-5300. And then listen to the prompts. Number one. And go to the mayor's office. There you will be greeted by two people. And who was speaking at me? We have a lot of city business to go over. So we're gonna do that. You call the mayor's office, they will meet you downstairs, personnel, and they will personally give it to Miss Ramona, give you the letter. Then I'm gonna ask each alderperson to come up with one person to go through the applications. I would like one person per each ward to sit on the committee to select our next clerk, to interview and ask questions. Our deputy clerk will be present, and then they will go through the process of elimination. At that point, we are hoping to introduce the next city clerk at our next meeting on February 23rd, where we can swear that individual in. The alderman, you will have one person on your ward. Then we will set together, or separate, because we have to be mindful of the Open Meeting Act, and discuss. So we may do a special vote. I'm not quite sure of the clarity. I'll go through the legal stuff because we want the transparency. Even if we have to call a meeting for us to go into private section, privately to discuss this on who we want as our next clerk. Is that fair?
I think so.
Okay, great. That is with the clerk's position. Now, as far as the mayor, intra-mayor or acting mayor, that too will be on November 23rd. I'm sorry, February, February 23rd meeting. We are looking for a venue. If you remember the last time, we had people standing in the hall, we had people in the back. So we are going to look for a new venue that will also be explained to each of your alderperson. It will be on the website, and it will be on a recording. We'll figure out some way to let everyone know of the location. But it will definitely be on the website once we get confirmation of where that meeting will be. We cannot have it here because, you know, you ever hear that saying, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, you know, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Well, we already know we had a lot of people interested. So I want everyone to have access to that, so we don't have a repeat. As far as the businesses, I am 100% confident on the way things were done, but we are short-handed. There is no doubt. There is not an alderperson, not a city staff person, does not want the people back. Our fire department, of course we want them back. And as one of the questions was, other towns have helped us, yes, but I assure you that Harvey has gone to their states as well. They have an intergovernment agreement. So not only do they come to our towns, we come to their towns as well. So it is a mutual agreement. It's not one-sided and we're abusing.
Yeah, I've been sitting here staring with my Ray-Ban Meadows at Rod. He's so mad. So I just got a bunch of footage. All while they was talking, I was recording on my Meadows. And he's looking so uncomfortable.
We want our office all open. But what we want and what we can do is two different things. We talk about our financial 164. We all know that. But I'm going to ask you, did anyone read in the paper that Crown Point, Indiana, is $1.2 million in a deficit? And I am confident, if somebody said, so what? I am confident there is not any municipality, and if I'm wrong, I will come back to you and tell you that is operating with the surplus today's date. But they are doing the best they can. We in Harvey did it too long. And we in Harvey got sanctioned by the courts that we are mandated to pay 35% of all revenue coming into the city. No other town has that. Not in the south suburbs. So this is what we are fixed for. It does not mean that no other town will be going through this like we are down the road, but we are going through it now. So it is a learning opportunity. If you do not have the money, what do we do? And that is why we are working in progress. We are working towards this. This has only been 1 week. I was Mayor Clark's #1 supporter. We've gone back all the way to 2015. But I am not Mayor Clark. I am Shirley Drewinski. And just like there are no two of you that think alike, but you love and share the same interest, but you think differently. You think differently. And that's rightly so, we all think differently. But I don't want a person leaving here thinking that we do not want our employees back. We do not want our staff back. Yes, we do. I had the privilege, and I will call it a privilege, and many of these aldermen do not know, but I worked side by side by 2 people last week, Ramona and Corinne. These ladies have been working 7 days a week. Their dedication to you as a resident, to this city, is amazing. So I thank you too. But I can guarantee as I go through, they are not the only ones. There's a lot of our department heads that have a passion and truly care. So residents, please, the staff is working very hard. They are very, very diligent and doing the job to the best of their ability. So I thank you with that. We're talking about warm weather. What happens in warm weather? Potholes. Grass. We got to have our grass so we can come up with a plan. But right now our potholes are going to get worse. Our water mains are going to be breaking. We had, what? Correct me if I'm wrong, 3 major water breaks last week. 2 in the same ward, 2 on the same block. And let me tell you, it wasn't a simple project. So when the water is being shut off, I know, I get frustrated when I am shut off, when I'm in for last minute. That is why I asked the staff at the street department, see if they can make phone calls, notify the residents. We want to notify you timely. But when these water main breaks, one happened on Sealy, not Center, right? 144th Circle. We had them out there, we had it fixed on Tuesday. Guess what? Thursday, 2 houses down, there was another one. And it was bigger than the first one. And these are not simple projects. We had to remove light posts. We had to do digging. So there are times that we're not going to give you notice if the water is going to be shut off. But I assure you we will do our best. So I wanted to address that.
It was fixed in a timely manner, though.
Thank you. Yes, it was. Alderman, I would like each and every one of you to be available Friday night, if you could, say around 6 o'clock. I want to show you something I saw today, and that is the new crime center. And we have not had an opening, but I would like to have these aldermen in together. We're not going to be in a violation of the Open Meeting Act. This is just going to be an information setting only. Any questions for the city that would be discussed, we would have to wait until we are in public. So when we ask when we can have 2 or more aldermen together, actually the third person is a violation of the Open Meeting Act. So if you see 3 aldermen together in a setting, that could be viewed if they are talking about city business, the agenda items, anything pertaining to what should be public. If they are talking about the sports game, having a couple cocktails together, in enjoyment, talking, having lunch, that is not a violation. But when you're talking about city business, it becomes, so it's a gray area, a line to follow. So I rest assure you, if you can make it, if you can't make it, we can schedule another visit. But if the majority of you can make it, if we can do it on Friday. I was planning, and I talked to the chief, so this is the first time he's hearing about this. And for Friday night, we were planning on Saturday, but someone reminded me it was Valentine's Day. So I want to be sensitive to that too, for those of you who have plans. So if that's possible, great. If not, please set another time, call Ramona and set up another time, but I would like everyone to see what I saw today. At 6 o'clock, at the new crime center. Also, I would like to talk about, we talked about the fire, all cease and orders, who will have an opportunity to go through them to see as far as the taxes, talking about people publicly in this council. It's part of the Open Meeting Act. If there is a lawsuit states Shirley Drewinski versus the city for X amount of dollars, then this paperwork will say Shirley Drewinski versus the city for X amount of dollars. So it's not trying to say we're not pinpointing one person or just saying for one person for the record. All our other agendas in court settlements had their names pertaining for the, stating on here for the Open Meeting Act. Okay, I think I covered everything. So just to recap, because we had a very busy, I thank you guys very, very much. What we're gonna do, a letter of intent. A letter of intent and your resume. Be submitted to who? Call it out. Ramona. By when? Friday. Friday. Excellent. Then we're going to set up, the alderman will set up one person per each board to sit on the interviewing, and then we'll figure out a time where we'll have the interviewing. Then our goal is to have that person present by February 23rd. If we do not reach that goal, that's okay. That is my goal. Our actual target date is the beginning of March, legally. So I just want to be upfront with everyone. I'm doing this so we can move forward. And I also say, if I'm the one sitting at this desk, so everyone will know what I am doing. Alderman Clark and I have been together. It has been no secret. For those of you who know in the first ward, he has been at all of our meetings. We support one another. Anything that was his idea will be in memory of Mayor Christopher Clark. My name will follow as acting interim, or at this point, Mayor Pro Tem. All right, I just wanted to make that. I think it's been a long meeting. I thank you very much for your patience and your understanding, and God bless. We need a motion to adjourn. All in
I'm gonna
favor,
go get
say
my
aye.
other microphone. I'm gonna turn it off.
Have a great
And then I'm
week.
gonna see if
Thank
we
you
can
very
get a
much.
comment. Okay, that's off. Okay, y'all. Now, is Valencia still, is he still in here? Where's Valencia? For real. Ryan, would you like to give a comment about your lawsuit? Would you like to give a comment about your lawsuit? I'm coming to you respectfully. Actually, I can. And yes, I can actually. So as a journalist, I'm sorry. I'm asking you, do you have a comment about your lawsuit? Yeah. So that's fine. Go right ahead. There's never been one against me, but the judge did say you were very disrespectful. Remember when you blew Amir's case, she talked about how disrespectful you were? Yes, I want to. Yeah, I do. And it's recorded. Yeah, these are his witnesses of me violating the order that doesn't exist. But anyway, would you like to answer the question, or can I ask you how you feel about your lawsuit? Ryan, your lawsuit, you were successful in getting it. How do you feel, Ryan? How do you feel about your lawsuit? Hey, how you doing, Miss Lady? I am doing well, thank you. Nice to see you. Yes, yes. Do you have a comment about your lawsuit that you just won, but you didn't get any money, only the lawyer got paid. And the residents have to pay. You didn't get any money, and you also still got the documents. They were a little late, but you actually filed a lawsuit. You got the documents, and you still filed a lawsuit against the city. Do you have anything to say, Ryan? You don't get a dime, but your lawyer gets $5,500. You don't get a dime, but your lawyer gets $5,500. Do you have a comment? Now, you could come respectfully. I'm coming as a journalist. I want to know if he has a comment about the lawsuit you just won. Yeah, he's always, just like, I guess he did it like, remember the black woman, you guys, his followers. He put a police report on an 80-year-old woman claiming the same thing. Also, the paintball incident, look it up. It did not happen. He's a professional victim, and I want him to take this to court. All I'm doing is asking him a question about the lawsuit that he won, but he doesn't get a dime. He doesn't get anything. Not even a new piece of gum. Yes. Yeah, he doesn't want to answer about his lawsuit. He won it. So, I wondered if he had a comment about the lawsuit that he won, although he doesn't get anything. His lawyer gets paid, but Ryan doesn't get a thing. So his plan kind of backfired. He doesn't have a comment. You're in a public building, Amanda. Okay. Walk outside. It's a public building. That's why. You know the rules, girl. Stop. You know the rules, Amanda. Okay. She said it's a private conversation in a public place. She's mad all of a sudden. Now, I asked him, did he have a comment about the lawsuit that he just won? They voted in his favor, but he doesn't get anything. Only his lawyer gets paid. So as a journalist, I asked, did he have a comment? He's always in somebody's face with the camera. Because I am a journalist, that's why the same excuse always. I just wanted to comment because this man talks about me. He did on his platform, talks about me when he put a police report on an 80-year-old woman, and I asked him about that. He caused me in trouble because anybody and everybody that doesn't agree with him, how to do that.
But as a journalist, when it comes to being in control, you're supposed to be in control, right? So So sometimes you gotta let people know, right? You gotta
But
be
this ain't one of those
adult,
times
right?
we're in a public place. When we get on a private property or in an area where I'm not allowed to do this, I'll let it go. But right now, I'm within my rights, and that's all I'm doing.
Just
Same
don't
thing
want
he
you all.
does.
I think we
But I'm
all
not
here
breaking the law, yeah.
for the same thing. Just don't want you all. Just
Well,
we can do this together,
yeah,
right?
I'm with you.
Right.
I'm with you. I don't want any problems. But I am going to ask him for a comment. Oh, gosh, Amanda, y'all saw that? How she flipped the script? That girl flipped that script. She flipped that script. Do you have a comment, Ryan? Did you want to make a comment about the lawsuit? Did you want to talk about your lawsuit? I just wondered if he wanted to make a comment about the lawsuit. I mean, they ruled in his favor, but he doesn't get anything. YouTube war. No, no. He does this. He doesn't want to answer, but he wants everybody else to answer questions, but he doesn't want to say anything. I guess so. I guess it is one. I guess it is Sarah. Hi, how you doing? Yep. So yeah, so he doesn't want to answer, which is fine. I do that. Oh, thank you, Keith. Woo. I feel good out here. Oh, okay. So you know what? I want to get in here. So he's just gonna record him, yeah. But he's being harassed. Oh, but yeah, I gotta get in here because here he is right here. People out here passing out their literature. Hey, how are you? She's running for judge, and there he is again. Filed a report against an 80-year-old black woman. It's Black History Month, y'all. He won't answer to that. All he does is call you a troll when you get him to try to justify why he did that. Well, hold on, I'm gonna get in here because I'm definitely, I'm, I might talk to Valencia. I don't know. I gotta see because I know you're really a man with a woman's name. Um, that's all that is. I know that's what you are. So, okay, hold on. I gotta see if I can hold my camera up. Ooh. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to change it to vertical. I forgot because I'm in the car now. I don't know how. I don't know if this is gonna work. All right, that might work. Hold on. Let me turn the camera around. Okay. All right. Hey, y'all. I got my Meta Ray Bans on. That's what I was recording Ryan with the whole time. I was just staring, but I was recording, but I had to look in this direction so I could get it. So let me see who's in here. When can you not record? Amanda, who was Team Jed. She was standing there talking to Ryan. I guess he was trying to get her to be his witness. And she's Team Kobe, so she just flipped the script, which I don't care, but she was like all in through the Tiffany thing. Then she just flipped the script. She's, I guess, Team Ryan. But talking about this a private conversation, well, take it outside because you're in a public place. So that fell on deaf ears. But let me see, is Valencia in here? Hold on. So, and then he talks about having an order of protection. Y'all, first of all, I was at not everyone, but I was on every court case with Ryan, but I physically attended. How many did I attend? One or two. Well, I get confused because I've attended some for each of them, for Vivian, for Ryan, for Greg. So the judge chewed him out in the Amir case that he actually helped hand Jed that case. Him and Beth, they handed Jed that case on a platter. Okay. Um, hold on. Yeah, I had some moderate. I just haven't been live, and then I didn't really tell anybody that I was going to go live. So, it's probably not a lot of moderators in here anyway, but I don't even care, y'all. This ain't my job. I got a job. I just do this. This is their job. And that's why all in the queue comes from Joliet to do this. And this is pretty much what she does. Let me see. Ryan, he don't have a job. That's why he's filing all these frivolous lawsuits. Vivian doesn't have a job. Hold on. Okay, I gotta charge my phone. This is not my job. So I don't care about, hold on, my phone just fell. I don't care about some of the things that they care about. So I don't care who I lose, because who I have is who I have. And this ain't even my life. This is all I ever done. I mean, there's so much more I could do with my YouTube channel, and I probably will. But this is just something I did for the community. I was the first one doing it. Thank you, Bella. Um, yeah, the judge said they were unreliable. Let me see. Yeah, I don't care. Let me just see it. Okay. Was Manny just on Ryan's page? Probably. But I'm just kind of tripping. She's like, I said, wait a minute, girl. Well, I didn't say girl, but I'm like, you're in a public place. I'm allowed to record. Now, if this is truly a private conversation, go step out. I mean, but it was underlying hate. It wasn't even about she was trying to talk about anything so top secret. It wasn't even like that. So I'm not even sure why all of a sudden she's on it, but it is what it is, because I'm going to show up and I'm going to do what I do and I'm going to say what I say. But my intention today was to be respectful. I actually was going to come and say, Ryan, I was going to acknowledge that, that I don't like his approach. So, my approach has what it's been, because Ryan has talked about me on his live, as has Vivian, several times. Even, I mean, just all the VNOTs at some point or another, or they'll get in the comment section, co-signing things, trying to drag me. But I don't respond. I don't really care, because I really have a life that I'm out here living. And this isn't it. Let me take these off. This isn't my life. So I'm responding now, because I really never do. When I cut off, I normally cut off. But this is 2026, and I'm just not letting certain things slide. Some things I will, depending on the source, because sometimes I look at it like this: like when you're dealing with a bunch of unstable people, I'm not about to like go on a psych ward and just try to start an argument with everyone in there. And that's how I feel sometimes when dealing with these VNOts. So I do pick and choose when I'm going to respond to something. So hold on. Ryan doesn't care about Harvey. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm kind of read up. Yeah, so this bogus. Now, mind you, now let me give you the context of him trying to say that he has a restraining order against me. First of all, because I follow Jed, because I don't hate Jed, because I show up to events, you know, doesn't automatically put me in or on that lawsuit. Ryan would have to prove whatever it is he's alleging, which he cannot. So I'm not even worried about that. It just makes him look like the professional victim that he is and always will be. And I'm gonna tell you what bothers me. It does bother me when our Black brothers and sisters, especially out here in Harvey, Amanda being one, jump on the bandwagon of this bottom feeding scavenger to help him exact his agenda, which has nothing to do with the residents, truly, or he wouldn't go about things the way that he does. His speech today was so disrespectful. And I did when it was, I said, to y'all basically, that was so disrespectful. She's harassing me. I have order of protection against her. They came over there. Really, the thing was to shut him up, But they whispered a little something to me. I said he doesn't have one. I said ask him to produce it, and they pretty much, I'm back on out. They pretty much just kind of, they just try to mitigate it, and I respect that because they don't want to just totally disrupt the meeting, and sometimes that's Ryan's goal, to be seen, to disrupt the meeting, and they know that, most of them know that. So. But yeah, so the blacks that are with him, and the way that he has shown, it's all about his self-serving agenda. It is not about the residents. It is damn sure not about the Black residents. So that's another thing. Let me also, while y'all are on here, I also wanted to, oh, let's start. Let me see. I can't drive with the light on. Let me see if I can turn this one on. That's the best I could do because I'm driving. Let me see. I don't want to, no, that's too distracting. Here, I'll just try to, ooh, hold on. Okay, because I'm driving, y'all. I'm sorry. But I didn't want to sit where I was. But the Vivian situation is so much. I would really need a whole live on that just to point out the lies and all that. But again, I don't really choose to do that because I could be using that time, for something that I really want to do with my YouTube channel, whatever that's going to be. And to sit there and, address her thing. But one thing I will say, and this is the only thing I'll really say, because to be honest, I don't even remember all of what she said, but I know one thing, which was a blatant lie. She says that I get up there and I say what people want me to say or whatever she said, something along that line. First of all, I never have a script when I go up there. I don't write things down. I never have a script. Sometimes I have things that I'm going to talk about in my head just so I can kind of gauge a way to keep it within 3 minutes and hit my points. But even then, I don't write anything down because that delivery is not me. Like I feel my delivery is more um, direct, I guess, when I'm talking just from the heart. And that's what I do. So that's another reason why I don't write anything down. Now, during that time, especially after Vivian and I fell out, what I did notice, anytime I would speak before her, like if my name was before hers on a public comment, and this is after we fell out, a lot of the points that I talked about, she would talk about when it was time for her public comment, which at that point we weren't sitting together, we weren't vibing. So that was interesting that she would even say that I'm, saying something that somebody else said when that's exactly what she did with me. And I can't read the comments y'all right now because I'm driving, but when I get to where I'm going, I'll park and try to read a few. So I'm just addressing it because I'm never on after this, but I really want to see if Valencia was still in here. But so that was just preposterous. But I was going to ask her on live, what did you mean by that, Vivian? Like what comments, or give me some examples of a time when I said something that somebody told me to say. Now, on the other hand, and this is what's so diabolical about her, and why I had to get myself away from her. Anything that she says that another person does is truly what she does and how she feels and how she thinks. To that point, I went and picked her up for a meeting before, and this is when she was living in Midlothian. I picked her up and with the clean house shirt on all the time, resident Viv on the back. But I was picking her up from Midlothian. And when she gets in the car one time and hands me a ball, which I actually still have the ball because I never did anything with it. And in my mind, I was like, I'll save it for my grandson. And it's one of them balls, if you touch it, it lights up. Like it has a light on the inside, not if you touch it, but when you bounce it, I guess it lights, or when you move it. So she tells me to, so when she gets in the car, she has more than one and she gives me one. And I'm like, what's this? And she said, I don't even know who it was, but some person gave her those balls, and wanted us to just sit there and hold them and do like this while we were doing public comment. I looked at her like she had four heads. I said, why? I said, I ain't nobody's puppet. And I said that when we were still, dealing with each other. I said that very thing. I'm not nobody's puppet. And I still have that ball. It was a clear ball with green, but I didn't do it. And I guess maybe since I said that, she ended up not doing it either. But that's just my point. Just one thing that I could pick apart just on how she lies just so blatantly. So blatantly. But if she were to be called out on it, or even if I, confront her on it in that same realm where I was just gonna on live, Vivian, what did you mean by that? Give me some examples. Because if I say something about what you're doing,
Oh, I'm gonna have some examples because that's how I feel you're able to say something if you actually can back up what you're saying with facts. I learned that a long time ago from someone that loved to argue. So I always come with, facts or documentation if I'm alleging something. I'm not just saying it with no proof. But anyway, okay, let me see. I'm driving y'all. Alicia, we were tired of her coming to the Mike and Dalton. All she did was yell, and it became disingenuous. It really was. And that's what's crazy because even now, when she talks about how she fought for Dalton, all you did was yell and scream. Like you said, nothing of value. Like, and to think that that equates to fighting is delusional. I mean, it is absolutely delusional. And then even all that stuff she's saying now about how she fought for the trustees. They left her. She didn't do anything. If anything, she made them look bad by yelling and doing all this stuff that really didn't have to be done to that degree to get her point across. Nobody else is doing it to that degree consistently. So, that was just, and then another thing, even with the whole YouTube thing, Vivian wasn't even recording. I was the first one that started recording the meetings, and I wasn't doing the whole meeting. I would just do excerpts. Oh, and that was the whole reason we fell out. I kind of almost want to go into that. Vivian got mad at the whole Keith Price thing, but what it really was, Vivian didn't want me. At the time when I started growing my channel, I wasn't even growing it. I was just recording the meetings, and it started growing. So when I got live, got monetized, every milestone, she got more and more jealous, like literally. So that thing with Keith Price, when he said what he said, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to her. Believe me, she was not mad at that. Hold on, y'all. I got to pause for 1 second. Hold on. My bad, y'all. So I hope everybody can hear me. But when that thing happened with Keith Price, that was the best thing that could have happened to her because, like she said, it was some video and she woke up and it had 25,000 views. And after that, she became so cutthroat in trying to grow her channel that, like, I can't even explain it. It was so cutthroat that just the what I was seeing from her, like as a person, I didn't like that. Like I didn't like what she represented. And the whole, I was seeing a bunch of other things, the manipulation with, I'm picking her up in Midlothian. She's screaming, Dalton this, Dalton that, don't own anything in Dalton, ain't paying taxes. It was just so much. And even, when she called herself Get Me Told on her last YouTube, she always cuts the comments off because she know I can come with receipts. And even with that whole Keith Price situation, the thing that she really got mad at, she was mad because Jan was going to allow Keith to come on there and give his side of the story the same way he had just let her come on there and give her side of the story the day before. Viv just went off. She just lost it. She crashed out because she didn't feel like Keith should be able to do that. And even I told her that that was only fair. Now we were cool at the time, but it was, on the tail end. But I told her, no, that's only fair. I mean, you got to tell your side. It's only fair that he gets to come on and give his rebuttal. She was so mad at that. And then I didn't know that Jed had told her, look, you know, when I have Keith on, I want you to come on too, so y'all can kind of converse instead of her giving her side, him giving his side. So Viv was like, she's mad because, he's allowing Keith because she wanted to just exist in her own victimship with no one being able to give their side of the story. So, so what Jed says to her, Jed says, um, Jed says, you know what? When you come on, why don't you let Alicia come on too with you and Keith so that she could kind of mitigate you guys, or maybe he even meant kind of calm her down a little bit so she don't crash out. So
When he said that, now he didn't even tell me that. He told her only that. I didn't even know that he had said that, but he did. So Viv was so mad at that because she felt like if I got to go on there, even as a mediator, which mind you, Jed never came to me with that. This is something he told her. But in her mind, even if I came on there as a mediator, that would have gave me some clout. And she didn't want me to have any clout. She wanted to ride the wave of Keith Price saying that what he said about her. She wanted to ride that wave. So she comes texting me. Now, mind you, I've never even talked to Jed. I don't even know the conversation they had. All I said to her was, I feel that it's fair for him to let Keith come on and tell his side. That was the only thing I said up to that point. She calls me and I got all the texts. She loves to say she got texts. She got all the texts talking about now I gotta put on my glasses to see some of these comments. She starts texting me, telling me, well, actually, she was texting me first. Then she picked up the phone and was like, "You can't go in there and talk about my illness. I don't need nobody to talk about my illness. You don't." I was like, "What?" I said, "First of all, Viv, I don't even know about your illness to even talk about it. Secondly, I work in healthcare. I know about HIPAA. Never would I discuss anything to do with your healthcare." So that was number two. And number three, I haven't even talked to Jed. Like, I don't know anything about what you're talking about. So she was like, regarding oh yeah, the refrigerator. I'll bring that up. Yes, that was my refrigerator that I let her use because I'm sitting here trying to be a friend to her while she was like jealous of me. Like just and I want like I'm nothing to even be jealous about. All I was doing is existing, but I guess it be like as soon as she felt like she wanted to grow her channel, she started trying to do everything I did, from nail polish to like everything. It was insane. Let me tell you another thing. Her mom, I gotta say this part real quick. I'm jumping all over the place, but let me say this because this goes back to this. I didn't really know her like that. I had invited her on a trip to Louisville because I was going anyway. I was, I go, I get out, I do things. I was going with a group of friends to this Louisville fest with Scarface, Too Short, Cameo, Charlie Wilson, Fantasia. So I'm going, I got the room and everything. I didn't know, had I really known her better, she was falling out with her other friends. And she was like, if you just, had looked at her page during that time, she's been on a consistent fallout with everybody for years now. So at that time, I guess she had fallen out with somebody. And when I first started showing up to Dalton meetings, she just befriended me. It almost kind of made me uncomfortable because I didn't really know her like that. But at the same time, I didn't really know many other people. So I accepted it. But she just kind of laid it on like really thick. So anyway, I tell her I'm going to this concert. All of a sudden, she's like, I want to go. I'm like, you sure? I'm like, I'm going anyway. I got the room. I'm going. I'm driving this and that. She begs to go. So then she's like, I'm going to send you such and such money on such and such day, whatever. So you know what? She did that. She actually sent that money the day she said it. So that carried weight with me because it was maybe like 300 she sent to kind of pay back because I had the room. I was renting a car. She had to get her ticket. And the ticket I think was like 100 or 200. But anyway, but she held her word on that. So that's kind of why I was like, okay, she passed that little test. I'm still getting to know her. But on the drive down there, I'm driving, her mom calls, right? And she's on FaceTime. So I'm driving, so I can't, I have to just look over every now and then. And her mom, they were talking, which now she don't even answer her mom's calls, and it's been that way. But that time they were talking. And so her mom calls and I guess she's explaining kind of who I am because I guess in her mom's eyes, I'm a new friend because she don't have any. And then her mom was probably thinking, wow, who's this woman that's tolerating my daughter because everybody else is running her away. She didn't say that part, but this part she did say. So she wants Vivian to turn the camera on to me. And when I'm so the mom, she turns the camera on to me. So I'm like, hi, how you doing? And she was really nice. The mom, she was like, I just want to, thank you for being my daughter's friend and this and that. And I was like, You're welcome." But that was so weird to me. Y'all, I'm over 50 years old. And for someone to be thanking me for being their daughter's friend was weird as hell to me. And what it immediately did, it made me think, what kind of person is this really for her mom to feel like she got to do that? But it all made sense after she and I fell out, because then I started seeing she had fallen out with everybody. She was running people away. Let me tell you something else that has tripped out about that very event. It's another guy that lived in Dalton, and he was I actually told him about that Louisville trip, because the concert, because him and his wife go everywhere. So I'm like, y'all need to come check this out. It's gonna be nice. So he's like, send me the information. So I send him the information. So they end up going, not with us, but they win. He was like, oh, we gonna make it. So on the first day of the concert at the venue, I go look him up. I find him. We get in touch. He's like, I'm over here. So I introduced Vivian to him, because we caught up. So I introduced Vivian to him, his wife, and they had their cousin with them. I'm like, this is my friend Vivian. So we all met up at the thing. We weren't sitting together because I was sitting with my other crew, but I went and sought them out and found them, introduced them to Viv, all that. All right. So Vivian, okay, so after I do that, just so lo and behold, when they come back, when we get back from the trip, maybe 2 weeks later, my friend sees her in the barber shop. It turns out they got the same barber. So my friend, the next time I talked to him, after me and Bev, because we would speak periodically, months in between. So after the concert, which was in June, end of June, I probably talked to him again. I think he invited me to a birthday in September. Then I probably talked to him again in January. So it was like that. So by the time I talked to him in January, me and Viv had fell out, right? But I never told him that because I just don't broadcast. I mean, if you know, you know. But I never was like, oh, I don't, I don't fool with her. So one time he called me in like January after we had fallen out, and he referenced Viv. He's like, yeah, your girl, da 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 da. But it wasn't anything too bad at that point. It was just saying, they got the same barber. And then he was like, yeah, I told my boy, yeah, that's my girl, my sister's friend, that kind of thing. So now I didn't say nothing the first time he said it, but then the second time he referenced me and Vivian, I said, "Look, I don't fuck with her no more. I don't fool with her at all." I just have to let him know at that point because I couldn't let him keep going down that road, even though I let him go a couple of times without saying nothing. So as soon as I said that I don't fool with her, he was like, man, you know, I didn't want to tell you this, but my barber said she wild as hell. She like he just a laundry list of things that had happened. And that he knew about, and that the barber told him. He never judged her, but how barbershops they talk, and he just was in there getting earfuls, and it maybe like, I don't know if it was like a meeting one day and she ended up coming up, as conversation, and I don't know, but it was just so much. And I was like, wow, all these different directions of just how bad of a person she is. So that's what happened with that. But let me get back to the key thing. So she got mad because she thought I was going to go on the platform. She calls me, tells me not to go on there, which I wasn't anyway. Not only that, Jed had never even reached out to me. This was all in her mind because she was so worried that I was going to get some recognition that she didn't want me to have. But what happened was, ironically, God will put you in places despite your enemy. He'll make them your footstool. So it just so happened that Harvey meeting that Tiffany had, I mean, that Dalton meeting that Tiffany had in Harvey. Oh, yeah, her mom knows she nuts. Yeah. The Dalton meeting they had in Harvey, and I went, and then me and what's his name, William Moore, kind of got into it. Like I got some praise on that. Cooking with Frank, whoever it was, they kind of, oh, Alicia, da, da. Oh, Viv hated that because I got the recognition that she didn't want me to have through the Keith interview, which I wasn't going to do anyway. No one, but I ended up getting it on the back end because I was just kind of like the only one at that Harvey meeting, and I spoke up. So her little jealousy plan just backfired real ugly. Let me read some comments. Hold on, because I know I just said a lot. She don't listen to her mother posted pics from 20 years ago. Where are your friends now? Right. I hear that she just be posting stuff like before forehead and after forehead is what people refer to it as, who be sending me the stuff. And even with that, I was seeing like when we were still cool, she was posting stuff as if like from Dalton, like she'll go passing through, knowing she don't live there, but she'll be passing through, but then will video like this is her neighborhood. It was just so much manipulation that says a lot about a person. And I can't find myself like getting closer to someone when I'm seeing those things. What's going to happen is I'm going to distance myself. I'm going to start backing up because everything I'm seeing, it's telling me who you are as a person, and I don't like it. Case in point, even when she fell out with like Dalton and Nikita and all them, one of the first things she says is, they get me out the chat. She was so mad about being. Oh yeah, she does hate that I'm loved. Thank you, shy girl. She really hates that. One day she gonna try to go on there, go, I guess, name drop to y'all that I smoke. Yeah, and she smoked, and I saw her look at the camera like I was just gonna get reprimanded. Hell yeah, I smoke because I'm grown. I do what I want to do, y'all. I'm not doing anything for y'all to like me, for y'all to dislike me. But it's gonna happen either way. People are gonna like me. People are gonna dislike me, despite how I am and who I am. That's why I just be me, and I don't give a fuck. And I'm just being honest. That's just how I look at it. I mean, I care, but I don't care. And the extent that I care is the extent that it's healthy. I just like this person, Valencia. I mean, I might have would have said a couple of things, but I'm not about to sit up here and go to war with a YouTube profile that I don't even know. Like, I just fuck y'all. That's just how I feel. Like, I'm not gonna put all that energy into it. I drink too. I heard that. I smoke, I drink. I mean, I do me. I ain't hurt nobody, and I'm grown, and I could do that. But just the mere fact that she said that, like she thought it was gonna be something that y'all were gonna hate me for it. That's what she wanted. She wanted something so y'all could hate me. She wanted a reason to hate me, and especially when she started getting dragged, she wanted me to go down with her so badly, y'all. Oh my gosh. But let me go back to the Dalton politics, whatever group chat she must have been in at some point. All she kept talking about, y'all take me out that chat. Y'all can get me out that chat. And I wasn't even in the chat, so I don't really know what she's talking about. But again, things like that don't move me. I don't give a fuck about a chat. I want to chat with my grandson, my daughter. Like, I got a whole life. You know what I'm saying? I want to chat with one of my good friends that just lost a dad, or, you know, um, that's the kind of, I don't care about no group chat on stuff that don't really pertain to me, for real, for real. Now, if you want my input or opinion, that's different, but I'm not seeking that stuff out like how she, I guess, is or was. But anyway, so soon as she falls out with them, then all of a sudden, yeah, what did she say? She was talking about how, because she did it with me too, how she could show screenshots of this and that and this and that. Now, who the fuck would want to be a friend with somebody like that? Like, who would, if that's what you do, especially at our big old age, and especially really over nothing. These people ain't harmed you personally. You're just mad because they didn't hate Jed, or they didn't go after Jed after you started all this shit. So they're doing the right thing. They're being mature adults. And okay. No, okay, in hindsight, that's a good question. No, she did not care about Dalton. I think her and her, yes, she wanted the clout, she wanted the money, and especially when her channel got monetized. Oh, she was jealous of everybody. Me, Jed, Babe Solo, who y'all know I don't fuck with her, but she was jealous of her. Because even when they connected, both of their channels was kind of doing thing. But then when Vivian started getting drugged, Babe was getting more play even than her. So she got mad at that. Like, she is a very, 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 very jealous individual. I mean, very. I saw it early on. I would sometimes walk up to the meetings if I got on, certain Jordans. Her feet, she gonna go straight to my Jordans. But you could see in her eyes. Sometimes you can read people. It was like jealousy. Like, she kind of looked like she mad. And even, on her video, she talk about my wigs, my nails, my lashes. Bitch, this is everything you wish you could afford to keep up, and you can't. You cannot. And that's why you mad. Because you broke as fuck. I mean, broke, 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 broke. Soon as one time I had went to, I did so much for this girl. Let me tell you, well, it's just so many directions I could go in. I'm gonna have to do this live later because I still got stuff to do when I get in the house. But what okay. I went and helped her with I went and helped with Carl Wilson's event. And when I say when I went and helped, I drove pretty much from where I live in Harvey to, let's say, Linwood, back to Harvey, back to Linwood, and back to, because I had to pick her up. I helped her carry all this stuff. When I say that bitch was so unappreciative, that was another red flag I saw. Like what I did that day, that might have been the day I took that my refrigerator. Let me get back to the refrigerator. So her broke ass post something on Facebook how she needed a refrigerator. This was after she got evicted out of Midlothian and went to stay in Riverdale. So she needed a refrigerator. People know y'all know I thrift, right? I had just came across, I bought, let me see, I got one. I bought three refrigerators. One I even gave to my cousin. Yeah, I'm just very generous like that. When I caught them on sale for $35 a piece, like the college dorm refrigerators. So I had two in my house. Actually, I had three, but one I had in the garage. So the one in the garage is the one I ended up giving her. So she posts this pitiful ass broke post asking for, anybody got a refrigerator. So I look at it. Oh, mind you, I'm thinking she got cancer, y'all. Cause I kept, it was times we'd be in the car together, like right now, just after a meeting, and I'm sitting here referencing her having cancer, and she's not correcting me. So all, and another thing about that Louisville trip, I'm gonna get back to in a second, because that's an important piece. Remind me the word twin, okay? If I forget, just say twin, and I'm gonna remember, because I gotta get back to that. But um, the piece, oh, the refrigerator. So she makes this sob story post. And yeah, she wanted to be the only one, simply Amber missed. And then she wasn't good at it. That was the thing, that high pitched voice. She cut people off. She just was not good at what she was trying to do, right? And that was another reason she was mad because she just wasn't natural, you know. And it was really a chore to try to suffer through it, even when we were kind of dealing. Um, okay, yeah. Oh, she dissed Harvey. Yeah, that Hannibal video that was. She's sitting here. And people be sending me shit. I said, look, please don't send me no more of this stupid ass shit before I fucking get dizzy and throw up, right? Because she be on these selfies like now doing this all the time. I said, why the fuck are y'all sending me this? I'm dizzy, okay? What y'all want me to throw up or something? Like, you know, it's so weird. But she was doing that on the Hannibal. Yep. Anyway, so the refrigerator. So she breaks a sob story. So I go ahead and I take the refrigerator. I packed it up. I mean, not packed it up because I mean it wasn't full of nothing, but I get it out the garage, take it over there, carry the heavy ass refrigerator. I do this out of the kindness of my heart. So when we fell out, and this is the thing, I just distanced myself from Vivian. I never talked about her. I just stopped fooling with her. After that, oh, there was another thing that happened, and I really didn't want to tell the whole story because it's so big, but it's like it's hard to tell some pieces without telling the other. But back to the refrigerator. So I take the refrigerator, I let her use it. So then when we fell out, she still has my refrigerator, right? So, and even when we fell out, I didn't even know it was that bad. Like I thought, because we had a function we were gonna go to, because she's lonely and ain't got no friends. So she was always inviting me to stuff that she knew people were throwing. And it was this one thing, Early Walker and Tia Walker were throwing some like Christmas party. She had bought the tickets and everything. And she said, so when we had our falling out around the whole when Keith Price was going on Jet, I thought we were still going to that event because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But the fact that it was Vivian already just waiting for a minute to hate because she wanted to now get away from me because in her mind she was competing with me at this point. So she really don't want me around because it got to be for her like a me or you. It can't be both of us. Although she'll try to act like it's room for everybody. It's room for everybody. But not that's what she's coming out her mouth. But that's not how she's thinking. How she's thinking, she wanted it to just be her, right? So anyway, see, I'm all over the place now. I can't remember where I was, but I'm gonna still get back to the twin. So when we fell, I don't know. I still thought we were going to this function. So I thought we were going together because I didn't know the people. She had bought the tickets, and when I was going to give her the money back, she's like, "Just keep the money. You just drive." Because it was downtown, and I'll pay for your ticket, which I think was like $30, and you just drive. So I'm like, cool. So that was the plan. So the day we fell out, she sends me my ticket like, "Oh, here's your ticket. I'm just, like we were going separate." And I said, "You know what? Thanks, but no thanks, because I don't know these people. If we're not going, I'm not going. I mean, you could just give this ticket to your another friend because I didn't that was never my plan to go alone. And if whatever you're mad about is this serious to where we're not going, then just give it to somebody else and I'm through with you." Well, I didn't even say that part. I didn't say through with you. I have the text. I said something like, "No thanks." She sent me, she made this whole little cryptic message, and all I replied with was "no thanks." So I don't even want the ticket. You get it off the best way you can. So then I was through with her. So then um, she went out of town. That was coming up on Christmas. So she was in Philadelphia. So I had asked her maybe a couple of days when I found out we weren't going to that function that Sunday and she was out of she was like, "That's gonna be the first thing I do when I get back," like real snappy. Oh, let me say this too. After I had, after I guess when I realized, oh, okay, we don't was another thing. This was another thing she was jealous about. We had went to the ugly sweater Christmas thing, not together, but in two separate cars. But I thought we were actually gonna think I thought, we were gonna get through it. But the thing was by the time we got there, they went to the karaoke thing, so we never had a time to just sit, go talk because the music was playing. So the next day, oh, and Brittany Norwood, Trustee Norwood, had asked me in Vivian's vicinity, which was a big mistake, to play Santa Claus, woman Santa Claus, the next day at the Park District. So the ugly sweater was on a Friday. She wanted me to play Santa Claus that Saturday. It seemed like I was getting a little bit more love or accolade. The little event I was playing Santa Claus for. So I okay, what about now? What about now? Can y'all hear me now? I done got hot. Okay. I just disconnected from a Wi-Fi. It should be better now. Man, y'all probably missed a lot. Dang, I don't even know when. Okay, wow. Y'all probably missed a whole lot. So I'm gonna back up a little. Okay, I was asked to play Santa. Good. Okay, y'all heard that part. All right. So mind you, this was at the karaoke thing. This was an earshot of Vivian. So she felt some type of way, I think, even about that. That I was asked to play Santa because she was trying to be Miss Dalton. She coming up giving updates from a Dalton perspective. Don't even live in Dalton, mind you, but that was like, so I think she felt slighted or some type of way when I was asked. So anyway, so she had an attitude about that. Then she sends me that thing about the ticket. You don't hear anything? Oh, okay. Hold on. I know what. Let me turn off my is the microphone off. Okay, can y'all? Okay, okay. So people saying y'all can hear, and I just took off this microphone. Y'all should be able to hear me. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Hopefully you can get it on a replay. All right. So anyway, so all right. So, I think she felt slighted about me being asked for Santa. Okay, so I'm thinking I didn't really know it was to the extent that it was, but mind you, you know, she was her hate was brewing. And as I got more, whatever it was, whether it was cooking with Frank, shout me out, or if it was Hannibal, anytime something like that happened, she felt more and more slighted. Same principle as when Jason went on Jed's show and how she felt about that, like she felt something. That's how she felt every time like something happened in my favor or that would, whatever she was thinking it did, whether it boosted me or I don't know, or got me a follower or like she just felt something. I'm looking at the numbers, so I'm kind of just coasting on this until more people come back in. Okay, yeah, she got mad. Like, she just didn't like, she didn't want me to continue to climb. Not that I was even trying to, it was happening organically. Like, y'all, this is the first time I have ever even done this. Like, I never even stay on live. Um, I never, I never I never did this because this was not my thing. Everything that I said I was trying to do, from the thrifting, then I started doing videos about reviews. I hear that she trying to do little cooking stuff, or like, everybody know, I put songs with my reels, I make them make sense. I heard she's doing all of that. She was never doing any of that. But even on her live, she tried to act like I'm trying to copy her. Like, for what? Or I'm jealous of her. Like I really want 4 brain surgeries. Like everything she says she went through. Why would any normal person want that or be jealous of that? You know, I'm thankful for what I have and what I don't have because I know it could be worse, especially looking at her situation. So I'm never on that like she was or is. We have watched you completely venture out with the content. Oh, thank you. Amber Mist. But and she's trying to do it, but she's really just not good at it because I'm just being honest. I ain't even hating. Like, it's that voice, it's that, talking on top of, people and trying to, that Jason House interview was a train wreck. When she went on, she trying to, I guess let everybody know how they grew up together and, you remember Tony to play Little League, all that stupid stuff. Like, it was just a disaster to me. But anyway, so after the refrigerator and after that weekend when she canceled the thing, and it was the whole weekend with the secret playing Santa and the karaoke, all this stuff happened within like a week, right? Yeah, she overtalks everybody. And she ends up, the first thing she started doing is posting all this crazy stuff on Facebook and like geared towards me because she was saying things about me smoking. She was saying, like, she would almost not mention my name, but it was nobody else, that she could be talking about. Um, and sometimes she kind of did mention my name or mention where I work or mention my grandson or something like that. And but then you know how ignorant she is, like in her posts, like she don't care who's on her page. I care to a certain extent. I got coworkers. I got, just some things where I do care. Now, on some things I don't because it's just gonna be me. But I do think about, family members, whatever. So she don't do that. So she'll post any and everything with no regards. So she gets on there. Yeah, I've changed, but it's still one bitch I want to fight. All this kind of stuff. Oh, and I'm a Scorpio too, right? Yeah, I can't stand it's one sign I can't stand. This is Scorpio. This is her daily post. And y'all have seen that because that's the same shit she did with Jed and with when she gets on something, she just goes like like delusional with it. Like she don't know how to get past things or let it go. So she started on all this like digs at me, right? And we were still friends at that point. We had fought, well, Facebook friends, excuse me. So she was just post after post, like trying to drag me, right? And then the final post, she said something like, yeah, and I'm a block, like insinuating she was gonna block me, I guess, or maybe it wasn't me that time, but I'm sure I was included in whoever she was talking about blocking. So guess what? I blocked her ass first, right? And so she didn't see that coming.
because she's normally she wants you to keep seeing them dumbass posts and all that. So she never knew that I was gonna block her to where now I don't care, So Dirty OKC, I knew she wasn't loyal to nothing. Promoting Dirty OKC. I don't know who that is, but yeah, so so once she starts doing that, that's when I asked for my refrigerator back. And she's like, "Oh, believe you me, soon as I get back in town, that's the first order of business." So I'm like, "Cool." So I let it go. So then she's still posting all this stuff on Facebook. And then I think one time I sent her a text because that was before I blocked her on my phone too. I said, "Viv, I don't know why you're doing all this." I said, "We cool. I just choose to go." No, I didn't say we cool. I said, I don't hate you. I just don't, I'm just moving forward. It's something I said, but it wasn't no curse word or nothing, right? And and then I might even put laughing out loud because it was so obvious what she was doing on Facebook. And that might have been before or after I blocked her. I'm getting a blur. All this stuff happened within like 2 weeks. But these all these things happen, but I may be saying one thing before the other, but they all happen, right? So, when she gets back in town, she, asked for my address to drop my refrigerator off, which she didn't drop it off. Her dad did because they literally had just got back in town. I guess they drove. So he stopped by the house with her, picked it up, and then him and her son brought it over to me. Her son brought it to my porch first, and I was gonna be cool with that because I don't know what she's told him or anything like that, and I just don't want to, I don't want to get him involved. So I'm like, "Oh, this is fine," like right here at the door. So then he's so sweet. He's like, "Do you want me to bring it inside?" Make sure y'all can hear me. Okay. I said, sure. I didn't expect him to do that. So he brings it in. So then, I always keep snacks. Everybody know how I am with kids. So I'm always gonna have something around the house to give a kid, whether it's candy, whether it's money, whether it's chips. So I end up giving him, I had like that 50 bag of chips from Sam's. So I was like, I said, "You want some chips?" After he brought it in. So he grabbed some Funyuns and I was like, "You could get, you could get more than one." So I grabbed a couple of bags of chips. I always keep pop too. Y'all know I'm a popaholic. So I gave him a 20 ounce, I let him pick and he walked out. And I immediately after that, I text her, I said, "I got the fridge." I said, "Your son is so sweet." I said, "I got the fridge. Thank you." I said, "Your son is so sweet." She didn't even respond because the only shit she responds to is bullshit, right? Um, so then even after that, she kept on YouTube, she would always find a way to try to mention me. And then when she did, then I went on, "Oh, that ain't even all I did." "Sure, girl, thank you for saying that was nice." Man, I be on Uber Eats, y'all. And a lot of times Uber Eats got buy one, get one free, right? I was at a bar and I did a Uber Eats or whatever to go, and I got to buy one get one free. So I call her. I'm like, "Hey, have you eaten or has Christian eaten?" She's like, "Oh, no, whatever, whatever." So I'm like, "I'm gonna bring him." I had 2 orders of chicken tenders. I come by, drop the boy off. She's living in Riverdale. I'm dry. She sends him out. I give him the whole order of chicken tenders and fries. And you know what that little boy said to me, y'all? This tripped me out because everybody know I'm a sucker and I love the kids. Everybody, I'll even tell you what I tried to do with her grandbaby, but I love the kids. So when I gave him that order, he came out to the car. I give him the food, and he was like, "Thank you," so sweet. I said, "You're welcome." He's like, "I love you." That was my first time meeting him in person. When I gave him the food, I had never met him. I just knew he existed. But he said, "Thank you." And he said, "I love you." And I was so taken aback because for one, that's not common for little boys to say to a stranger. Like even if they say it, it's probably to an auntie or somebody that they've known. And I even said something to her about how he said that and how that made me feel. I said, "That little boy could get anything from me now." Like I was so touched by that. But then it also let me know or made me wonder. I'm like, I wonder if he is getting like the love and the reciprocity of what he just said. Like, does he get that in return? I was thinking all those things when he said that because it was like almost like he was desperate for attention. I mean, but I'm not saying he was, but I'll give you just one other quick example. Everybody know I like to fish, and I was out there. I was fishing one day, and I was out there for like 4 hours. This little boy came up. And matter of fact, it was in September because it was the night of his homecoming dance. He stayed out there with me. I actually got a little annoyed because I go out there for tranquility and to free my mind. He stayed out there for at least 2.5 of the 4 hours I was out there. I ended up kind of leaving because of him because it started, but I didn't take it out on him because he's a kid and he didn't know that that was kind of inappropriate. I mean, you stay for a little while, then you kind of leave them be because I was out there for tranquil, but he didn't know that. But the more I talked to him, that little boy had been in foster care. He had, I caught him in a couple of lies, and no big lies, but just that's, he was telling me he lived a certain place, then it was that place, then one minute his dad's in the military, then the next is not, then he's in so I really didn't know what all the truth was, but I knew that the little boy had some trauma. That's why he took to me because I sat there, I let him throw my reel out a couple of times. Then he almost tried to take it over. I had to kind of ask for it back because I was being nice enough just to do that. But I don't really want you out here fishing with me because this is kind of my time. But I tolerated him for like 2.5 hours. But then I finally left because I didn't know how to tell him that I wanted. Matter of fact, I did. I'm sorry. At one point, I told him, so, I'm not trying to be, however I said it, but I'm like, I kind of just, don't really want to answer any questions, whatever I said. And he kind of walked away for a little while, was gone for maybe 20 minutes, walking around the banks, but then came back. And I didn't have the heart to repeat what I had just said. So I had to tolerate it up until I left. But my point is that's kind of how her son came off to me, kind of, and nothing wrong because they're kids, and sometimes kids just want or they long for that interaction, and that's why I tolerated it for so long. Yes, he was drawn to me, and he was a white kid at that, Amber Mist, and but I don't see color, especially with no kid. Like I do not see color. Y'all know my little friend Juanita. And she don't even speak any English. Well, she speaks very little English, and we done went to White Sox games, and I done took her for shaved ice. She don't know it, but I got her a Christmas gift right there, right now, still wrapped up in paper. But I never told her because I just did it, and I didn't want them to expect it because you can't just do things when people expect it. You have to do it when your heart drives you and when you're able. So I never even told her I have a gift. Oh, Juanita, you love Juanita, shy girl, but I actually have one for Juanita right now. Yada yada yada. So I'm off topic, but back to Vivian. So all these things she was jealous of, jealous. So then I blocked her. And the more that I didn't give her attention, then next thing I know, Vivian starts trying to spin the story of why we fell out, right? But every time she spin it, the couple of times I heard her say something, um, she never would finish. Like even that last live she did where she called herself dragging me. She right when she got to my story, now all of a sudden now she got to smoke a blunt because she got to think of these lies she's about to tell. So she's like, yeah, and she did this and then start hitting the blunt and acting like because she hitting the blunt, she can't finish her sentence. And then she never went back to what she was trying to say because the shit was a lie. It was a lie. And her story, every time she tells it, it's gonna be different because it's a lie. Every time I tell mine on my grandson, and y'all know how I feel about my grandson, my story will not change. Now even in this explanation, there's a couple of things I left out only because I would have to keep going down rabbit holes to explain it fully. And maybe after the next meeting live, I'll do some more, but I don't really have time to just address this all the time with her because that's her fucking life. This is not my life. Her life is drama, turmoil, demonic spirits. Even when she prays, y'all listen, watch her live. Yeah, and I pray that, the court grant me this order. Everything she prays for is adversarial. Like it's nothing. Oh, I pray, my son is doing well in school. I pray he passes tests. I pray, my dad has a successful. She might have said that, but I pray that God repairs my relationship with this person. That it's never none of that. It's always, yeah, I pray that, he stay away. God, like it's just the most demonic prayers that and that's the only time she ever references prayer when she wants God to bless her mess, basically. Okay, yeah, she'll spin and let me go back and look at some comments. I'm sorry, y'all. It's hard when you're talking to because I would just be all over the place trying to comment. I mean, respond to your comments, then go back to what I'm saying. And then I haven't done this before, so I don't really have the best you know, I'm trying to get everything out at once, I guess I could say. So it's kind of difficult. But there is another component I'm gonna mention about why we really fell out. A matter of fact, I'm gonna go into it now because she has spun this as well. Now, so basically, let me turn this light back on. So when she talking about, yeah, I don't want you talking about my health and can't nobody talk. Well, she always says illness. Like I think she thinks that it sounds more pitiful when she says, talk about my illness. So thank you, Lady Brown. So when she says, they can't talk about my illness. So after that whole thing, this happened. Let me tell you what happened. And this is a Keith Price story. So there was a meeting at the Park District, and it was a lady that came and said a bunch of things when she stood up and spoke on Tiffany's behalf. Then Keith, when he got up there, he tried to say, I don't live in uh, matter of fact, I think it was a Thornton Township meeting held at the Park District. But anyway, Keith was there. They were trying to say I didn't live in Thornton Township. Now, here's the thing. I had got a food box before, okay? And they didn't even know. So I for sure lived in Harvey, but I never let them know that. What I didn't do, I just never responded. Y'all could think what y'all want to think. I told y'all how I am. Like, I really, truly don't be giving a fuck what people think because I'm going to be me and I'm going to do me as long as I know I'm not hurting anybody. I'm genuine and my heart is in the right place. I'm just going to do me. So, I don't care what they thought. So, they would say that every meeting, but, everybody knew, where I live without me having to deflect it, right? So, so anyway, so I was living in Harvey already. Oh, and here's another thing. So she also said, now I'm just remembering in one of her lives. Yeah, and she talked about I don't live in Dalton. She don't live in Dalton either. But guess what? I never said I did. I never said I did. Matter of fact, I had been approached a couple of times by the newscast people to speak after a Dalton meeting. I never would speak. You have never seen me speak to the news at a Dalton meeting. You might have seen them play a clip of my public comment, but you have never seen me talk to the news media because I didn't even want it to be misconstrued like I live in Dalton. I live in under Thornton Township, but yes, I did show up to the Dalton meetings, and the reason why I did is because the first time I did, because before I even moved out this way, I start trying to learn about the politics, which is how I found out about Tiffany. Even though I was moving to Harvey, I couldn't find the Harvey meetings online. So I actually found the Dalton meetings online. So I started watching those. And of course, I couldn't find the Thornton Township. So I started watching those. And that's how then when I was before I even bought my house. Then when I moved out here, I actually started going to them. And I was going to the Dalton, and I went to Harvey, and I went to Thornton Township. And I went to Harvey. When I say I was pretty much like I just wasn't received. And I went there early on through the advice of Sherry Britton. She even told me who I should, hook up with at the meeting. I did. I went, I introduced myself to that person, and I was like totally dismissed. I didn't feel welcomed. I didn't feel anything. Not to mention, at that meeting, it was a lady on the phone behind me, and she was speaking out loud in her regular voice. Like she answered the phone call and talked for a good 4 minutes on the phone. And I thought that was so I thought that was so disrespectful and rude that it just made me not even want to come back to I'm sorry, I was looking at some y'all, head on a swivel, made me not want to come back to the meetings. So I didn't, for a while, but I continued to go to Thornton Township, and the spotlight was really on Tiffany at the time, even though Clark was doing a little bit. So yeah, Bella, that's how I knew of Dalton too. So anyway, I'm going to Thornton Township. So I never tried to misrepresent that I lived in Dalton. And again, that's why I never did any interviews with the news, never did any of that because I don't want to put that narrative out there. Vivian was okay putting that twisted lying narrative out there. So even when she said that, yeah, she don't even live in Dalton, but I never said I did. Oh, I am. I'm cool. I'm checking everything out. And believe me, I ain't just sitting. I'm sitting, but believe me when I say I'm straight, I'm super straight. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm super straight. Super duper straight. Where I'm sitting right now, I'm super duper 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 straight. But anyway, but thank you for that. So, um, what was I saying? Um, Thank you, Amber Mist. Thank you so much. Um, so what was I saying? I was talking about, I was saying how I never acted like I lived in Dalton. Never. Now you would see me, like if the news asked me on Thornton Township, then I would like give an interview or something like that. But even that, I took like a back seat, like, because that wasn't my plight. I didn't have to be seen or heard. Now, if I was, okay. But I didn't have to be. But that was like Vivian's goal. You got people where that's their goal. Like that's what they set out to achieve. Um, so anyway, yeah, who was that? I wasn't received in no, I was received in Dalton, but I just never tried to act like I'm just from Dalton. I wasn't trying to perpetrate the situation or negatively capitalize on it how Vivian was. I just that just wasn't my angle. So I just wanted to address that because she tried to say, like again, like y'all, like she's exposing me by saying I never lived in, I mean, that I didn't live in Dalton. You're right, I didn't. And that's why I kept my distance to a certain extent. Yes, I rock with the residents. Yes, I rock with Clean House. But I also, I let them have that limelight because that was theirs. I wasn't trying to overstep like how Vivian wasn't even living there. And she was trying to act like she was the spokesperson. So okay, they were tired of her voice. Yes, they were. And then matter of fact, we would let me throw this in. So when we went this how she really thought she was gonna come up off this whole Tiffany thing. She really, really did. Like when we went to Louisville to that concert, we in the car, this girl gonna say, um, what she said? Oh, she gonna say, yeah. When we get there, I'm gonna get us VIP and this and that. She really thought that we was some type of celebrities or something. I'm sitting there looking at her like I just looked and just listen. I'm driving, mind you, but I couldn't believe she was saying that. When we got there, there wasn't nobody studying our ass. Wasn't nobody studying her or us. Period. But just that was her thought process. Like she's just like people were really I don't know. She just really thought that this was gonna, I guess, get her out the ghetto or be her meal ticket or whatever. And her whole demeanor, her whole focus, her whole existence became that. Let me also say something interesting about Louisville. It was so hot there. It was so hot. This girl, I did not see her take one shower. We got there, was it Friday or Thursday? No, it was Thursday, I think, because Friday was the first show. Then Saturday was the second. I think we left Sunday. Now, in her defense, the only time she could have took one, the next day, Saturday, she got to the concert late because it was so hot the day before. People were passing out up front. It was just hot. Oh, but the next day I came prepared. I had my little chair cooler. I had ice from the hotel. I had water. Man, my little crew, we was all straight. Thank God, because I did that extra stuff. But she decided to come out later. So I'm hoping against hell that she showered during that little bit of time that I was gone and I left a little bit early to go to the concert because she ended up taking an Uber later. But that shit was disgusting to me. The good thing was she was on the couch, because it was like a suite and I had the bed. Um, but it was no like separate room. It was just kind of like a partition. But I did leave. So if she did, it would have had to been during that time. I probably should have came and checked the shower, but I don't know. But I was just like, that was kind of wild to me. And but at the same, twin, let me go back to that. So This girl, y'all, this girl I know, she was part of my crew that went, her one of her guy friend, and she's a twin, okay? Now in that she's a fraternal twin. And in that she is the nicest person in the world. Like she's so nice that if you got a problem with her, you the problem. Okay, she's that nice. Now her sister, she's cool too, but she ain't nice. She ain't me, she ain't nice. They're like opposites in that way. But one of them, this girl, I've never seen or heard her into it with anybody. I mean anybody. Now her sister, I done seen her sister, get a few people told, but her. So anyway, this girl. So we kind of convoyed down there, So we stopping together at gas stations and stuff. And I was busy pumping gas at one stop. So this person, one of the twins, the other twin wasn't there, just she, the nice one was there. The twin was like, what did she say? She said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at, okay. So I guess her and Vivian had made some agreement on like, okay, the door, I guess the bathroom door was messed up or something. So somehow she was supposed to hold it while Viv was in, and Viv was supposed to hold the door shut while she was in there. So the girl did that for Viv, but then when Viv was supposed to do it for the girl, Viv didn't do it, and this white man came and like opened the door on her basically while she was using the bathroom. So she was like livid, right? And but she didn't tell me right away. I didn't know that happened, right? So this was over like Father's Day weekend was this particular Louisville fest. So maybe like 2 weeks later, we in a little bar because the people I went with this little group, we all attend this little bar on the north side together. We do different things. We go to concerts, comedy shows, Wisconsin Dells. So we done been me and her in this group on different excursions before. So we get back, we in a bar. I didn't really notice she was acting a little funny, but I guess she was because she comes up to me and she's like, look, I just got to keep it real, sis. I don't phony kick it or nothing. And she told me about what had happened with Viv, right? And I was kind of just knowing Viv at the time. So that was my first disclaimer. I'm like, look, my bad. I don't really even know her like that. But what I did was I done made an excuse for this girl thinking she had cancer. I'm like, she just went through radio. I done use that to appease to tell the girl, no, I don't think it's really like that. She got cancer. So the girl, she kind of accepted it, I guess, because I was saying it, but I could tell deep down she really was still pissed off about however it happened or however, and I wasn't really there to see the dynamic, but it really it really made her mad. And you know, so I'm gonna tell you, I'm bringing it back full circle. I thought about that when me and Vivian fell out. I thought about that exchange, and I felt like I didn't probably put enough emphasis on what that girl was saying and how she was saying it because I was so quick to make an excuse for her that I kind of dismissed some of the intensity of what my friend, who I knew longer than Viv, said. But then it was also coupled with I was trying to make defend her because I'm thinking she got cancer. So that was another thing when I finally fell out with Viv. All them times that it's just been me and her in the car, just kind of like how I am right now. And I done mentioned cancer even on the trip to Louisville. I know it came up. I don't know how, but I know it did. Cancer, and she never corrected me. Never was like, no, girl, wait, no, it ain't cancer, it's a tumor. She never did that. And again, I'm steady using it as excuses for her. And that was so manipulative to me that that's what I'm talking about when I say that, I just had to just distance myself from her because I don't rock with people like that energy, that that manipulation, that, all of that she represented. I didn't like. And then let me one more thing because I'm gonna have to go. I gotta use the bathroom. Sherry Britton, when Viv and I first fell out, Sherry was like, "Oh, I love both of y'all," which she now threw Sherry under the bus. She's like, "Oh, I wish y'all could work it out." Da 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 da. Da. So I'm like, "No, Sherry," because I had seen these things that I just mentioned that I don't fuck with nobody like that. Family, friend, foe. Like when I see these characteristics, I get away. I don't I don't that ain't good energy for me. That is not good energy because that'll take me to a place or have me do something that is not in conjunction with my life trajectory and where I'm trying to go. And mind you, I've made the wrong decisions. I've handled things wrong. I don't do that this time in my life. Like I learned from my mistakes, from my triumphs, and I apply them going forward. So anyway, so you know, I was like, I'd never want her back in, but I could try to find a way to coexist, right? If you're really saying this, Sherry. So the next thing that was coming up was Brittany Norwood did a family skate at Glenwood Roller Rink. And I went. Matter of fact, it was the same day as Shelby had her birthday party that day. And I went to that too. But it was that same day because I did three different things. I was from Linwood to the west side to the north side. But one of those things was Shelby's birthday party. But before that, I went to this family skate. So when I get there, Vivian was there with her granddaughter, and that little girl is so cute. And y'all know how I am about kids. And that's the one way that I could try to find some common ground with someone, maybe through a kid. And in this case, it was her grandkid. So I told her, I said, sorry, y'all, my head on a swivel. Okay. So I get there and I saw Jason House was there, Ed Steve. I was speaking to them, kind of standing in their vicinity when Vivian walks up with her granddaughter, who I'd only seen on video. So I'm seeing her for the first time. And I'm like, oh, I said, she is beautiful. Um, well, that's what I was thinking to myself. So as they come, because they were walking, maybe I guess it was kind of towards the door because I got there somewhat late, but they were walking in my direction. So I'm thinking about what Sherry said. So I try to use the little girl to find some common ground with me and Viv to just see how we could coexist, if at all. And also kind of applying what Sherry was trying to, tell me, you know, because I'm gonna tell y'all this too. Even when I'm on a trajectory, I'm open to reopening my mind or reevaluating the situation. Now, I may still only keep you here or whatever. We'll probably never get back there. Or if we discuss it enough, maybe we can get back there, but not with Vivian because I've seen too many things to where it'll just never happen. But other normal individuals under normal circumstances of a fallout, like with Keith Price, I'm open to, you know, trying to move forward. But anyway, so I see the little girl and Vivian. So I look at the little girl. I'm like, oh, I said, is this your granddaughter? And Vivian is looking at me like she has seen a ghost. And I'm like, I said, oh, she is so pretty. And she had beads in her hair. I'm like, oh, I like your hair, whatever I could say. Vivian, the hate I saw in her, like just because I was trying to interact with her granddaughter. And mind you, I'm applying what Sherry said. I really still don't like you, but I'm trying to rise above it the best I can and at least just come to a more level playing field so that even though I never hated you, but you acted like you hate me. So now I'm kind of hating you, not hating you, but I'm matching energy, right? So, but I'm trying to put all that aside. So I acknowledged the little girl, and then I said, so I'm trying to, engage with the little girl. Vivian again treated me like I was something demonic or whatever. So I just kind of shut it down and stopped trying to interact. But that right there, that really let me know a lot about her because you couldn't even put your feelings aside for me, just even in this moment that I'm sitting here complimenting your little girl, engaging with her. And most kids are animated. So if you come with them kind of animated, they're gonna respond. And I'm doing all this and you're letting this hatred, which I'm still really not thinking it's that bad because I never did anything to her. All I did was distance myself. But her conscience was eating her alive. And it's like the more I ignored her, the more she hated me, even though I wasn't doing anything. Even though I was not even doing anything. It's like just because I was not acknowledging her, her hate was brewing. And meanwhile, I'm not saying anything. It took me months before I made a post on Facebook. And I still didn't name her, but she had done so much, had mentioned me on YouTube, act like she gon' and how she worked here and she do this, how she gonna say this and that. She's so vindictive and diabolical and don't have shit that there's no level in which she'll go or not go. Like, and this is what was crazy is I wasn't even doing nothing. I could see if I'm back and forth, tit for tat or making lives or doing it. I just wasn't doing anything except not fooling with her. And she don't have anything. Look, and that was bothering her so bad that it just made her like evil. And I really saw evilness. And that's another thing I can't deal with. I can't deal with people that are just evil. Like, and I saw that in her. I saw straight evilness, like beyond mad or hate. It was straight up evil. And I can't, and it's still coming out just in the way that I've looked at when we were friends, her mom would be on her page trying to seek her out and give her advice and really just be a mom. Now I don't know what really happened between them, but it just don't look good that it just don't. But one time she had a post, yeah, my mom is everything, if it weren't for her, da 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 da. And I said to myself, now somebody sent me that. I said to myself, did nothing happen except she went to her dad for something and he said no. So now it's my mom this, my mom that, because that's how evil she is. Thank you, YJ. You knew a few she had crossed. Yes, it's so malicious and unwarranted. And then she goes so deep with it when it's not even that deep that you just got to stay away from them kind of people. Well, you should. I ain't going to say you have to. I have to. I have for several reasons, for several. And she keep Vivian, I'm gonna tell you something right now because I will say this. This is another thing. She was all on the same day she left court in a panic, talking about her dad was going through this and that. I was at that court case. But then she was writing late night cruise live, just keeping up shit while you had to leave court. So she was in his live. And then somehow I came up and she in there typing, yeah, I promise you, she ain't about that life. I swear, bitch, I want you to test that theory. And I'm saying this to you, Vivian, because I know you're watching. I want you to test that theory. I just want you to test it. And I want you to see what the results are once you test that theory. Now, I'm not looking for no trouble, but I want you to test that theory if that's what you really, really think. Because, it's not that serious, but you come see if I'm about not just that life, but my life. We'll see about that's all I'm gonna say. Just test your theory. I bet your hypothesis fails. I bet you. But so that's just someone. But she said that. But she's all talk, and then as soon as she say that, then she'll back it up with, "I'm disabled. You hit me. You going to jail. I'm dead." So she just talks out of both sides of her mouth. And again, I just can't deal with her. Oh, and the one other thing, and then I really get ready to go. 'Cause it's almost 10:30. Now I'll have to do this again one day. But um, dang, I just lost my train of thought. She what was it? Test your theory. Vivian is a star. She really is. That group is not loyal to nothing. Yeah, they don't like each other at all. And it's crazy when your bond is the only bond you have is hating somebody else. Like you don't even like each other, but for hating somebody else. And that's so crazy. Okay, she used her dad. How sad. Yes, she uses her dad. It's pathetic. I'm telling you, she done did so much. Matter of fact, wherever she lives now, it might even be in her dad's name because she couldn't get nothing in her name. Evictions, credit. She even told me that, she was gonna have her dad sign for it, and then she lived there. Because she can't Vivian, she don't have no credit at all. Like she's literally paid. One other thing, she got so mad because y'all, I also have a business. I've had a business, and I'll get to that in a second, but I've had a business. I have a business. I've had a brick and mortar business. I have an online business and I have a master's in business. And then I'm all but dissertation for my doctorate in business. I have, how many is it? 4 dissertation classes to take to complete my doctorate in business. Okay. So I say that to say I don't know everything. I'm still open to learning, but some of the things I say and do come from that place. Even online, I got a whole nother thing going on, but it comes from the place of having a business, having a business degree, and being a consumer. But anyway, so she was trying to tell me something. Now Vivian she's about beating the system any way she can by PPP loans, fake Section 8, whatever it is. She's always open to trying to beat the system. So I'm telling my the business I have is a for-profit business, and she was trying to tell me why I should make it a nonprofit so I could get this grant, that grant, this, and I just shot her down because I said no. Our business was built as a for-profit business, and I'm not interested in changing like anything tax and this is how we position the business. She got so mad because she's HR and she loves to shove that down your throat. She got so mad because she's HR and she was trying to tell me how I should position my business. And I just shot her down. I'm like, no, like I wouldn't change how it's already structured. And she felt like she can't tell me nothing. Well, first off, okay, your degree is in human resource. Mine is in business. So I'm gonna go with what I learned and apply it to my situation for one. For two, you filed for a PPP loan without a legitimate business. Why the fuck should I take any kind of advice from you? Like that's like taking drug advice from a crackhead, like on not doing drugs. That just doesn't make sense. So I would never. So what she was saying, by the same token, didn't make sense to me because it wasn't how I positioned my business when I created it. So, right, she don't have anything, but got so much advice and telling. But in that, she wanted to try to find a way, I guess, where I could cheat the government or get this grant or that. I'm not on none of that. So that was another thing we fell out because she's HR, and I guess she felt like, oh, and mind you, within my business, my master's in business, I do have actually certifications in human resource management and marketing of services. So again, not that I know everything, but it's not that I don't know nothing either. She was trying to act like she thinks she the end all be all in HR, and she can't even really state a title she had. People I know, they're directors of HR, VPs of HR. She'd only want to yell HR, but don't have no kind of title associated with it, level, direct reports, none of that. Like she don't have none of that, but she's steady screaming HR, and I guess people are just supposed to you know, feel like she was some type of HR guru or something, but I don't look at it like that. But yeah, I gotta get ready to go. I have to use the bathroom. Let me see. Was she really HR? Yeah, she claimed she was, but I don't think she was that for long. But she really claimed she was. But like, um, what I mean, who can vouch for you? Like, do you have anybody on LinkedIn who can vouch for any of that? Um, Same degree Tiffany got right. With nothing, right? Nothing like she definitely has nothing. No credit in any aspects of life. Thank you, Anderson said I had a good heart. In fact, she kept going back. Oh, let me say another thing she's done. Vivian has been watching my page. Like she's obsessed. Because if you even like when I was her friend, that's all she did. Like I don't know many people that have that kind of time. It's just post after post after post after post. And when she's not posting, she's lurking on another page because you should see some of the requests I have and even the kind of not even mutual friends, but it'd be like a weird request. They in Dalton politics. Yeah, she has so many pages, and that's how she knows what I'm doing because she still knows because she's still trying to do, but it's just falling flat on its face because she's just not good at it. She's just not good at anything she tries to do. She needs to just find something she's good at it and do that. But this ain't it. And she's forcing it. And she's forcing it. She doesn't have what it takes, and not even that I have it. I'm not even saying that I do. I'm not saying it in that way, but I know she don't. But not only that, not only does she not have, she's too jealous, and that drives her intention, her self-serving. She's very selfish. It's all about Vivian. Even at some of the meetings, "Ah, I'm disabled, y'all ain't," you're like, she wanted to get in before the senior citizens and all this kind of stuff. She's just, it's all about her. And that's another reason why she's just not good at it, because her heart really ain't in it. It's about how she can benefit, not who, not about, because if she cared that much, she never would have canceled that pathetic ass Dalton walk that she kept talking about. That shit was so funny. But I mean, my walk, and they made me cancel my walk. But if you really cared about the people, you would have had that walk anyway. If it was truly about the people, especially that community. Brain injury changed her personality. You know, Lady Brown, I think it changed her, but I don't know really in what way. Because she's so manipulative, and it's working in some aspects. But I did hear that, that even her barber said she used to didn't be like how she is, but she's so diabolical that if she wasn't like that before, then yes, maybe the brain injury did do something, but you can't keep using that as an excuse to just be an evil demonic person. You just can't. And to me, a lot of how she is, it gives Munchausen syndrome. Like, people that just want attention, like negative attention is better than none for them. Like, it's so bad, but one thing I can say, at least she's doing it on herself, and she ain't trying to like make her kids sick or anything like that. Grace Rose or whatever that lady's name was, Anna Rose, whatever. So that's the only part. But yeah, she does live in the past before her illness, because she don't like herself. That's another thing. Vivian does not like herself at all. She don't like who she sees in that mirror. That's why she posts all that old shit, because that's who she was. That ain't who she is. And if she can get back to that person, I don't know how her end. Well, I don't even want to say that, but like I said, I have heard that she wasn't always this bad. So if she can get back to that person, then she'll have a chance at having a resemblance of a good life. But living in that demonic, evil state, um, she don't like who she is, and that's why she's in that state, because she does not like herself. I've never seen somebody hate themselves as much as she does. That girl don't like herself. She don't like how she looks. She don't like her forehead. She don't like none of it. She don't like her living arrangement. She don't like her car. She don't like nothing. She don't like her life. She don't like being broke. She don't like, being caught in her lies, which she still hasn't even lived up to that. Yep. And she said, "Oh my, congratulations. Well, have a great night, everyone. Until next time." Okay, y'all, I am out of here, because it's, what time is it? Yeah, I said I was going in at 10:30, and it's 10:30. She's at the Harvey meetings because since she needs something to latch on to, and she doesn't feel that she has it in Dalton anymore. So she's showing up in Harvey, and then she was trying to good night. She was, trying to align herself to Kobe, thinking that that was going to, and even that support. Believe me, if Kobe didn't put her, or doesn't put her where she wants or thinks she should be, she's going to turn on Kobe too after the election, just like she turned on everybody, even Jason she grew up with. It's only a matter of time. She's going to turn on everybody. Um, she's gonna turn on them all. Well, definitely Kobe and all them. Everything is calculated for her own gain. And people, when they find it out about her, it's too late. But look at her track record. She's just not a good person. I appreciate your story, Prod. Thank you, Lady Brown. Okay, I'm out of here, you guys. But thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for sticking on me. Like I said, I never do this, and it started with Ryan, but I did have to go to her because I've never actually addressed any of this. And this is all the things. Yeah, what she said about Jason was terrible, is still terrible. But when it benefited her, she was, riding his coattails, or trying to. But that just shows, who she is, how she is, and she's being exposed. And that's when what's hard to come back from. You can come back from mistakes, bad decisions. You really can if you own up to them, and if you really want to be different. You don't have to go into it tonight. Yeah, you can. Anybody can, and that's why, I don't have the disdain that I have towards people that feel like I should on certain people, because you can come back from things. Even Tiffany Henyard, is bad. If you guys remember on the Jet interview, you know, the word that came to mind was redemption. I would like to even see that for her one day if she wants it. But not only that, but I still truly don't feel like she's as evil as Vivian. I'm telling you, Vivian was a different kind of evil. And early on, I told people that, like when we were following, that I saw her Tiffany ways, like I saw that in her. And but she's actually just her spirit. And this is the story, but she's worse than Tiffany. I mean that. Like what I've seen, and I really don't know Tiffany to that level, so maybe I'm not making a fair comparison. But just the things that I know, and the evilness and demonic, and the jealousy and the hatred and the pettiness and the vindictiveness. That's all. I mean, she's worse. And I had said that early on, and it's a few people I told that to that will tell you I said that over a year ago. But anyway, thank you everybody. Thank you, Bella. I appreciate everybody. And I will see y'all on the next one. All right. Thank you again, everybody. Bye.